Here I am. Hello, how are we? Happy Monday afternoon to you all. This is Savva from Savva Talk Spurs. Savva from Savva Talk Spurs. Well, Savva Talk Spurs is from Savva. So either way, here I am. And we are on a mission. By we, I mean me, and I need your help. I am on a mission to get to 2,000 subscribers in a very quick time. Last time I did a channel, it took me about 3 months to get to 2,000 subscribers. This time, I'm trying to get there in 14, 15 weeks. Let's see if we can do it. How are we all? Spurs, 4-1. Convincing win. Very good win. Very poor Southampton, but a very convincing win. Talk to me, guys. Tell me in the chat, what did you think about it? Who was upset? Who was upset when the team was read out? And there were no new signings. There was a bit of a gasp in the pub I was in. I think you could see people collectively at about 2 o'clock looking at the lineup, questioning why there wasn't any new signings in there. But look, it was Southampton, who are awful. One of the worst teams I've seen play at White Hart Lane. I thought they were awful. They didn't really have anything going forwards. I thought their defence looked poor. They had a 20-year-old goalkeeper. A 20-year-old goalkeeper making his debut who looked very, very shaky, very nervous. It was a lovely game. I called it months ago when the actual fixtures came out. I said, what a great day to start the season. Southampton at home. Anyone saying that they're not poorer than Everton and Fulham, I watched Everton and Fulham this weekend, who both looked much better than Southampton. At the end of the day, 3 points, we move on. There are bigger fish to fry. Great to start the season with 3 points. Hopefully that puts confidence into the players moving forward. And then we move on to Chelsea away. Always notoriously been a very, very tough game for us. Will we win? Hopefully. Is it a good time to play them? Well, I think it's a good time to play any team at the beginning of the season because no one's really in form. They might think the same of us. Is it a good time to play us? Well, the season's just started, so we'll see. Are we getting carried away? Are the pundits getting carried away? Are the fans getting carried away? I don't know. You know me, keep my feet on the ground. I've been here many times before, seen many false dawns, been called negative many a year, only to be proved right. So I'm just going to keep my feet on the ground, see where we are after about 8 to 10 games of the season. Let's see where we are then. Even then, sorry, apologies for that. Sorry, something was in my periphery. Even then, we've been there before. We were top of the table. November, December under Jose, and then it all went downhill. So I just think there's a little less of the Spurs fans in staying grounded. I really, really do. So what I'm going to do, I will put the link to the show in the chat bar in the next 5 minutes or so. And if anyone wants to come on, please have your video turned on. Please be somewhere quiet and please let other people get a word in edgeways. It's really, really important. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at some of the comments early doors. There's been quite a few of them. Bear with me 1 second. Let's have a look at the comments. So I was just making sure I had everything turned off, the phones and all that. So Luan, our Man United friend, is in the chat. Luan is on the verge of a breakdown. Stay positive, mate. As a Spurs fan, we know all about being really, really bad and having poor seasons. So you've got nothing on us. On Arnautovic and Rabiot. I mean, Rabiot's decent, isn't he? He's decent. Not the caliber you're expecting. Raf just reminded Luan this is a Spurs channel. Listen, we're all football fans. We're all here for one reason and one reason only. Football. Daryl has said Luan won't get any sympathy here. We are Spurs fans. We've had our fair share of shite. Luan is a Daryl. Yeah, I know, mate, but to be honest, we deserve a... Okay. Paul, big up to yourself as well. I hope you're well out there in the States. Cole Higgins, big up to you as well. Aditya, straight in. Hi, Savva. What's my prediction for Stamford Bridge? I've said 2-2. I want to see where we are. We'll talk about this later. But I want to see, it's a long week. By then, Chelsea could have signed a couple of superstars. We don't know. I'm going to go with 2-2. I think everyone's just getting a little bit too carried away from playing a very poor Southampton team. Chelsea at the Bridge with some very experienced players is a completely different kettle of fish. When you look at Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, Azpilicueta, Reece James, Chilwell, Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic, Sterling, Mount, Havertz, it's a completely different kettle of fish. Corey Boy, 85, has said it was a good win. Yes, it was a good win. Ditcher, this is you just trying to get your point across about Chelsea, isn't it? Southampton, not poor on Everton and Fulham, though. I mean, I watched Fulham play against Liverpool and they were very impressive. I would not be surprised if Fulham finish above Southampton because Southampton don't have goal scorers. I don't know what Southampton have got anymore. I think this might be the year they're really banging trouble. Foggy Foam said he was expecting Perisic to be starting. I truly was as well. Scott M, hello, Scott, all the way from Canada, has said, good to get the 3 points, but I thought the performance was pretty average at best. No real standouts either way, although I thought Royal was really poor and Bentancur was good. Look, different ways of looking at it. I thought Kulusevski was excellent. I thought Bentancur did really well. I thought Sessegnon had a decent game. I thought Royal's just one of those, isn't he? A few good moments, a few poor moments. It is what it is with him, but he did okay. It was one of his better games. I don't think we were excellent. I just think our front three, especially like Bentancur, just rip teams apart. Aditya says Cess was really good. I mean, I can't ever say a wing back was really good if they didn't take their man on once in 90 minutes. Not for me. Sorry. He really wasn't that great. He scored a good header. All credit to him. He had a good game. But when we're saying he was really good, he didn't take his man on once. That's really disappointing. Spurs Detective, hello, has said Southampton beat us 3-2 and 1-1 last season. Do you think this is progress? I mean, it's progress on the results, but I mean, Southampton look weak. Southampton look really, really weak. Scott says Southampton will be going down if they play like that. I feel like they're definitely going to be in a relegation battle. I can't see who's going to score them goals. Paul said, how's things, Savva? All good, my end, mate. Hope you are well. He said, I hope you're okay. I see the Spurs fans are getting carried away again. Yeah, we do this a lot. We get carried away. And then when it all goes Pete Tong, those people don't want to admit they got carried away. Scott M back in and said, Aditya, he was okay. The goal makes it look better than it was, but another game with little to no quality crosses. I agree. I'm sorry. I really do agree with that. Carl Higgins said, just the sort of confidence boost Cess needed. Let's hope he's turned the corner and is improving. Jace has said, still a slow build-up, no domination in the centre third, slightly better passing. Chelsea will put us in our place. We'll be surprised at any result there. I'm going for a draw, but listen, definitely a more difficult game than what Southampton gave us, that's for sure. Stephen Cartwright has said, perhaps Conte wanted to show a bit of loyalty to the group of players who have done well for him at the end of last season. For sure. I don't think anyone's doubting that, for sure. Luan trying to get sympathy from Spurs fans, mate. You're with the wrong club. We've been starved of success for 22 years under our owners. My favourite person, the Chelsea supporter with a Man City badge, said, hello, Savva. What did you make of our performance in the weekend? Which one, City or Chelsea? Simon has said, afternoon, Savva, Perisic must start on Basuma on Saturday. I agree. Listen, no point in my mind, Simon, going out, signing these players who are meant to be better than what we've got and not playing them against the top three. Yeah? Whatever anyone wants to say about Chelsea, they finished top three. They're a Champions League club, a seasoned Champions League, Premier League winning club. I want to see the best players playing against them. If that's Basuma and Perisic, then so be it. I don't want any of this sentiment towards Sessegnon because he scored a header. Sorry, that's just me. No sentiment from this guy. Been there, seen it, done it. Nope. Aditya saying, no, he was much better than okay. Overlaps, forward play, some good crosses, defending. No, but Aditya, you're lying there. Apologies, mate, you are. Overlaps with what? I didn't see him take his man on once. He got, I think, maybe 2 crosses in the game. Defending, what defending did he really have to do? I'm sorry. I feel like people are just really overhyping what was an okay game from him. This would be a worry for me, Carl, yet not being able to defend set pieces. Again, that's why I think we really need a leader at the back there. Luckily, we weren't really tested on Saturday. That's why when people are saying to me yesterday on the Spurs corner, like, how good would you rate the centre-backs in the game? Really difficult to rate them. They had nothing to do and no forwards against them. Kane Lega said, big up Savva. Kane, big up to yourself. What's happened to your picture? Where's your picture gone, mate? Aditya said, Rabiot is a good player. Savva Champions League pedigree. I think he's okay. Yeah, I don't think he's brilliant. I think he's okay. Again, I know, Aditya, you like to really big things up. For me, if he was that good, I don't think that Juve would be. Well, that's hard to say because Kulusevski and Bentancur came from there. But whenever I've seen him, he looks okay. I don't see that he's a standout player. Not really what Man United need. Yusna said, Cess and Emerson were good on Saturday. They were good in patches, yeah. They had some good moments. I really feel everyone's really over-egging what Sessegnon did, though. Yes, Eddie, we were top under Nuno as well after 3 games, and everyone was telling me that this guy's a great manager. I'm negative, and then look what happened. Scott Emma said, as I mentioned earlier today, if the upper management try to patch together a squad to try and get by, it will be a long period of crap for Man United. We've seen it at Spurs. Absolutely. Aditya said, 2-2, laughing. You are happy about the transfer window, it seems. I have no idea what you mean, Aditya. Are those 2 things correlated? I think it will be 2-2 at Chelsea because I think that they're a good team that are hard to beat. I think we've got goals. Let's see. Yes, Chelsea struggled against an average Everton side. We should win. I hear this every year. I'm not saying we can't win, but Spurs fans do exactly this. We get really carried away and don't learn our lesson. Then if we don't win, what's your fallback? If we don't win, I'm not saying we can't go there and win. I think this is as good a chance as any. But when we say we should win, I think it's just massively overconfident. I like the fact the new guys were on the bench, to be fair. Not me. Not when I'm paying nearly £100 a ticket. I didn't want to see new players on the bench. Carla said, I agree with you, Savva, but the boss said we've got to be dangerous, so I'm going 2 dreamers, so I'm going 2-1 Spurs. Listen, I'm not saying we can't. I'm not saying we can't at all. I just got a feeling that, Chelsea will be difficult to break down. Very difficult. And they're very tough. They sit in, they know how to play that system, and not many teams will batter Chelsea. Yes, Kane and Son were very average. Yeah, correct. Darryl said, even our build-up not being a proper one, even our rebuild not being a proper one. Yusna said he doesn't have to take his man on, though, does he? Nothing wrong with playing passes. No, sorry. When you are playing a wing-back system and your width and creativity is coming from the wings, then yes, you do need your wing-back to take a man on. Because all he did it all game, get the ball wide left, 5-yard pass inside to Davis. If that constitutes a great game, we've got very, very, very different ideas of what a top player is. The show with Graham will be back on Friday, Luan. We're going live, Graham and I, on Friday. Graham is a huge cricket fan. And during the summer, he goes to cricket. He's retired, so goes to cricket quite a lot during the day. Can I just ask, if anybody hasn't liked, please, can they like? And if anyone hasn't subscribed, please do. I am on my way to the 2,000 subscribers and trying to get there quickly. If anyone wanted to help, it would be much appreciated. So let's read through a few more of these before we move on and before I put the link in the chat. Guys, I've got nothing against people dreaming, by the way. Dream. It's good to be dreamers. Dream away. But just because I keep my feet on the ground, I've been here. Yeah. I've been here, seen it and done it a million times. So I'm keeping my feet on the ground. Peter said, hi, Sav. Maybe we made Southampton look poor. Peter, did you go to the game? If you did, you would have seen how poor they were. Their goalie was awful. Bless him. I say that. Their goalie, he looked like a kid making his debut, which he was. Their passing was awful. They had no target man to hit. They didn't have anything, mate. So, and we weren't that great. And when you're saying we made them look poor, we weren't that great. We scored some good goals, but we weren't amazing. I think, again, people getting a bit too carried away. Video complete. Sofian said, deal is close for Zaniolo. Come on, let's just get a deal over the line. It always takes us so long. Ryan McFarlane said, I thought Emerson and Cess done all right. Kulusevski was a joy to see. Ryan, I think this is it for me. I think Sessegnon and Royal were okay as well. When people are saying they were great, no, Kulusevski was great. Kulusevski, now that's a footballer. That's a proper footballer. The other two, for me, they get through games, but I'm not that enamored with them. Matt has said, I'm going for a 2-1 Spurs at the Bridge. Let's hope so. Paul has said, if we start Basuma over Højbjerg, Perisic and Doherty at the wing-backs, I think we have a good chance Sunday. Listen, I want to see Perisic up against Reece James. I do not want to see Sessegnon up against him. He won't get past him once. It will be like men v boys. Aditya said 4 crosses. Brilliant. What, in a game where we had all the ball, he managed 4 crosses. Do you know how many times he got that ball on the left-hand side on Saturday? Again, decent game, but everyone going well overboard about it. Ayush, we're so good. I reckon we'll finish second. Ayush, again, you're just getting a little bit too carried away. Could we finish second? Yeah, but are we so good? Are we? Let's wait and see when we play some proper teams. We need to get Zaniolo before the match against Chelsea. Billy has said it's the best football I've seen since 17-18. I don't know. I don't think... I don't think we played that well. I'm not sure what everyone was watching. I thought we played okay. In lots of patches, we were very slow and lethargic. I think the scoreline is really, really over-egging some people's actual reality of what happened in the game. Scott said, once Perisic starts to play, people will see a quality wing-back actually does, so we'll hopefully stop overrating of Sessegnon. I agree. Perisic did more in the 15 minutes he was on the pitch than Sessegnon done whole game. Sessegnon got a good header for the goal, but Perisic goes past his man for fun, tracks back really well and is strong, puts tackles in, and is positive. Different class of player, Perisic. Sorry, Tommy. Sorry. Billy has said, Perisic, Longley, Dyer, Romero, Doherty is a great backline. Okay, we're going to have to really disagree on that. I don't think any backline that's got Dyer and Doherty in it can be called great. I think we're getting, again, just a little bit too carried away. Ayush has said, Savva Spurs have scored the most goals in 2022 in the league. Not bad for a team with apparent creative issues. Ayush, there's a difference, right? There's a huge difference. And again, this is, by the way, Ayush, you're the guy who said, and I've got a lot of people to back this up, you are the guy, Ayush, that said that Kulusevski and Bentancur were crap and that we shouldn't sign them and they weren't better than Winks and Mora. So I can't really take a lot of what you say seriously, but welcome. Luan has said, Savva, do you think the same with some of your new signings are starting the game versus Chelsea or is Conte game with a winning team? Mate, I want to see Perisic, if fit enough. I don't want to watch Sessegnon play. Against top teams, I don't think he'll get a sniff. He couldn't even take Kyle Walker-Peters on once. That's Kyle Walker-Peters, very bang average fullback. So, not for me. Foggy Foamer said Rabiot was good. Then, no, he has lost that drive, or maybe he's no longer motivated. But for me, no improvement on what they have. I mean, that'll be interesting. Let's see if he does go to Man United, what he does. Sometimes players shock us. I mean, it's a bit underwhelming for Man United, but it's a sign of where they've fallen to as a club, unfortunately. Aditya said, Eddie Ryan, but 1-0 scraping wins were there. Now battering teams left, right, and centre, 4-1, 5-1, 5-0, 4-0. I mean, beating City 3-2 isn't a battering, is it? Let's be really, really honest. Listen, I'm going to keep my feet on the ground because people getting... I see this every year. Billy, sorry, how can I take that seriously? Sterling and Havertz are awful. I mean, are they? Really? What? How is Raheem Sterling awful? This is where I think Spurs fans just get really childish. He's not awful at all. This is the matchup. It's going to be a lot more difficult to break down Chelsea than it was Southampton. Hazard has said it's a mentality thing. Let's see how Spurs get on Sunday. The quality is there. Let's see. That's the sort of game, guys. We need to be going to that stadium, putting on a show, not going there losing and then there's a million excuses. Because all the people that are telling me it's going to be an easy win, no, there's no excuses after the game then if we don't. Faz, welcome. And says, Savva, I'm not questioning Perisic is certainly better than Cesc, but will you disagree with Conte if he doesn't start Perisic? Yes. I mean, if he's not fit, but when he came on the other day, he looked pretty damn fit. He was up and down that wing. He'll have another week's fitness under his belt. Sorry, I just don't want to see Sessegnon ever start a game above Perisic. That's just my opinion. Perisic there, Sessegnon down here somewhere. Sorry, that's just for me. Well, it's fact, but yeah. Georgios, God, yeah, you tell me every day. I'm honestly going mad hearing you talk about the lack of creativity in the two-man midfield. Stop this. Please learn about the roles, positions. Georgios, you're not very clever. As I've told you a million times, every title-winning team that Antonio Conte has had, he has had creativity in the central midfield too. Every single team. Fabregas, Pirlo, Barella, Eriksson, Pogba. There's been creativity. Stop saying there isn't. You're wrong. In the year that Chelsea won the league, he had Fabregas as central midfield who had 19 goal contributions that season. So stop this narrative that there is no creativity in a Conte team. It's wrong. Factually wrong, Georgios. Chelsea do raise their game against us. I think everyone's reading far too much into Chelsea's first game of the season. We do this every year. Last year, we beat City 1-0 and loads of fans going, this could be the year they struggle. Top teams will make it hard for you to beat them. Keep your feet on the ground. Let's go to Chelsea. If we beat them, great. But let's do it first before we get far too carried away. And then we've got West Ham, Man City, teams like that coming up. So keep your feet on the ground. Rafa said, agree, Southampton were really poor. I thought they were one of the worst teams I've seen in a long time at White Hart Lane. I was sitting with Henry Wright TV and we said when we looked at the 11, it was like, if you were a Southampton fan, you'd be really worried. That was not a Premier League 11 for me. Ward-Prowse maybe, Ramal. Who else? It was very, very lightweight. Aribo and Armstrong up top. Cess's offside finish was also decent. Okay, but as far as I remember, Aditya, last time I checked the rule book, it doesn't mean anything. He was offside. Do I rate Zaniolo? I do like Zaniolo. Yeah, I think Zaniolo is an exciting player. It would be interesting to see where he plays if he comes. Let's see. We were very good, Savva. I don't know how you could argue that. I thought we were okay. I don't think we were amazing. I thought Kulusevski was very good, but I didn't think we were actually that great. I thought Southampton were very poor. We did enough to batter them. Fair play to you, Ayush, for admitting it. Yeah, fair play to you for admitting it. A lot of people wouldn't. You like Nikola Milenkovic? Yes, very good centre-back. I would take him all day, every day. Ditcher, 5-1 Newcastle was a much better game. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's got. I mean, Yeah, that was last season. I'm not sure what that's got to do with this. Next week against Chelsea is the game where we should rip Chelsea apart. Okay, let's do it then. Let's do it. I hear this every year. Daniel Turner has said Southampton are toothless. The big plus was Kulu. I thought Royal looked much improved. I want to see some consistency. The test is at Stamford Bridge where we rarely get anything. Agreed. Daniel, I'll tell you what, this is the thing for me. I'm a pragmatic fan, right? I've been this dreamer fan for years and years. Well, years ago I was, and then realised that it's not reality. If we are a top team, we will go and beat Chelsea. Then we will go and beat Wolves at home. 9 points from 9. But let's do it first before everyone gets way too carried away. Good afternoon, my friend, the best YouTuber in the world. I wish. How are you, mate? Are you well? Someone just said he reckons Spurs finish second. Listen, I still think we're well off Liverpool, Man City. I think deeper squads, more quality to come off the bench. So look, I've said all along, I think Spurs are going to finish fourth. It's not impossible to finish third. I think we could finish third, but I'm going to stick with fourth. And I won't change my mind on that unless we do something brilliant in the window. Billy said, on TV, you get a better understanding. I mean, no, you really don't, Billy. Who on earth has ever told you that? I mean, you do not. When you're actually at the game, you can see the entire picture and how it builds up from back to front, not just where the camera's panning at any one time. What a weird thing to say. Ken has said Southampton are going down the youth route. Could be a good club to loan out some of our youngsters to. Possibly, Ken. I just think they're in trouble if they don't get a few more players. Billy has said, did you not see Sessegnon finish for the offside goal? He looks like a different player now. I saw him score an offside goal. I don't know why everyone's harping on about an offside goal. You don't get anything for scoring an offside goal. As I said before, if he's playing in the wing-back position, I want to see him take his man on. No excuse. All these people going, oh, he doesn't have to. You do. Otherwise, you make the defender's job very easy. Faz said, Savva, I didn't know at the time, but did you rate Kulusevski and Bentor when they joined us, or you thought they were Juve rejects? I think Ayush in the chat will testify that when they came in, I was on a WhatsApp group with Ayush. And what did I say, Ayush? Would you like to tell everyone? What did I say? I said 2 very good signings. Very good signings. And I was one of the people arguing against all these people who called them Juve rejects. It showed what a little understanding football fans have of other leagues. Video completer said Højbjerg and Bentancur are our best midfielders. Well, we're going to ask that question when I put the link in. I'm going to put the link in now, actually. I will get round to getting people on. I mean, this is really... Havertz is shocking. I thought Havertz had a decent season last year. You could see he got used to the league. He started to have some very good games towards the back end of the season. He scored a winning goal in a Champions League final. I don't think anyone could call him shocking. I think that's... and talking of Corey Boy, here he is. Corey Boy, how are you? Talk to me. Welcome to the show. Havertz is shocking.
What up?
Well, no, I'm asking you. Talk to me. He's shocking. Why?
It's a first for me. Well, in the Bundesliga, yeah, he's a great player. In that division, was a great player. The Premier League has a thing of breaking down all these great young players that seem to come in. And then if they don't hit the ground running, people are rating them. And, you know, I mean, I've got connections to the Bundesliga anyway. One of my friend's brothers is actually playing for a team in the Bundesliga itself. But in divisions like that, they can flourish. But as soon as any foreign player really comes in, young, they have to, you know, get used to the league and how tough it is, how the training is different, how we don't have a winter break.
Yep.
So then these players have to take that into account.
Okay, but that didn't answer the question. Why is Havertz shocking? Think about the word, the adjective you're using. Shocking. Shocking is Tungai Ndombele. Yeah, shocking is Fred McTominay. Shocking is not Kai Havertz.
Tonga and Dembele, that is shocking. I mean, At least Havertz has some contribution. Sorry, I'm talking over you.
No, go on.
Tomine.
Right, I'm just getting up Havertz's details. I mean, for me, I think people have got to remember he's still young. Yeah. I can't see him on the Chelsea page. 1 second. Sorry. Kai Havertz. We've got to remember he's just turned 23 years of age.
Yeah, he's a young kid.
Last year, he got 11 goal assists in 29 appearances. I wouldn't say that's shocking. In a Chelsea team that really, really did lose their way towards the end of the season. He scored the winner in a Champions League final. I would say that that's not shocking. Would you? Hello?
Okay, maybe my choice of words is a bit... It's probably because of rose-tinted glasses, being a Spurs supporter, so on, but... Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Let me bring in... Charlie, let me bring you in. Welcome, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Talk to me. Chelsea, I think Chelsea's forward line gets talked about a lot, but this is a forward line that has added Sterling and still outscored us last season. And I think the difference is as a fan base, I think we look at our front three, right? Because we know it's devastating. But we also know that last year, for example, we don't score outside of that front three. I think our third top goal scorer was own goal. But yet Chelsea, who score more goals from us around the team, we're saying, oh, they can't score goals. Which one is it?
Own goal.
It is. Own goal was our third
goal.
top goal scorer.
Yeah, it's a strange one, really, because I personally think our front three is better than theirs on paper if you look at player for player. However, you're right. They if you look at the numbers, they outscored us last season. What I would say is if you can caveat a little bit the fact that for about how long was Nuno there, like 4 months or something, or the first 10 games, that's it. We couldn't even muster a shot on targets, and we didn't have Kulusevski until January. So I think those are a couple of things you have to take into consideration.
For sure.
But you're right. I think for me, the main reason why last season Chelsea scored more goals was just like you said, because they've got goals all over the pitch. I think their wing backs quite high scorers, if I'm right, the likes of James and Chilwell before he got injured. So, and a lot of their centre backs score as well. The likes of Rudiger was. I know he's gone now, but he scored quite a few, if I'm right. A couple of others as well. So I think the reason they outscored us last season, I'm not sure by how many it was, but I think I'd say it's just because they had goals all around their team, sorry. And I think for a while we've been too reliant on kind of Kane and Son. But I'm hoping that yesterday, judging by on Saturday, we scored 4 goals without Kane and Son getting on the score sheet. So I think I know Southampton were very poor, but we've seen against sometimes teams that are just as poor when Kane and Son were off it, we couldn't score. Like you might remember under Jose in the FA Cup against Norwich, I think it was. That was when Kane and Son were out, and we barely looked like scoring that game. And Norwich finished bottom that season. So I think it's still early days, but I think Saturday was definitely a positive for me. It's a step in the right direction.
Charlie, absolutely, and I think I don't know if you agree, but I think that's one of the areas I think we need to really improve on this season. It has to be if Kane and Son don't score goals, where else are they coming from?
For sure.
Kulu, great addition. Now we need to see other players joining in. And listen, it was a great start, and you can only play who you're up against, right? Of course. But I do feel that in football, lots of fans do go from game to game with their opinion rather than a bigger picture.
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is about some of these fans, right? And I'd say it's majority. It's kind of the online fan base. I don't think you can consider the entire Tottenham fan base, because if you think about it, online fan base is probably about 5% of the whole fan base. But what I would say is there's no in between.
Oh, the online fan base is the worst, Charlie.
It's like, for sure. It's like either, we're the best team in the world, we're going to win the league, or it's, we're getting relegated. There's no in between. That's how I look at it. Like, you'll have one piece of kind of bad information will come out, and there'll be a whole massive meltdown. But then there'll be a little bit of good information, but it'll be even over the top. Like, we're going to win the quadruple and stuff. So for me, it's just so flip-floppy and just no in between, to be honest.
So let me ask you a question then. Why is it then that if you get a fan like me, Charlie, who I don't think, contrary to belief, I don't think we're poor at all. I think we're going to finish fourth.
Yeah.
Why is a fan like me called negative for suggesting fourth, and fans who just wildly go, yeah, we're going to win the league, we're going to have a title challenge, look down at people like me? Why is that?
It's a difficult one because by you saying that, I don't think it's negative at all. I just think it's taken to an account just everything around and just how it is. To be honest, if you look at our squad right now, I don't think we can compete for the league either. To be honest, I think even if we do get a couple more additions, like the creative midfielder and another centre back, I still think just because of the standards that Liverpool and City have set, I think it's. For anyone else, it's like almost impossible to say that this season it's possible to compete for the league. So I'll be honest, I don't understand what's negative about it. I just think it's just objective. I think it's just balanced. I think I do see some fans online who I think are negative, but then I see the others that are overly positive as well. But I think with you, I wouldn't call you negative. I'd say you're just in the middle. I'd say I think it's just balanced.
I think one of the things is, and I'll bring you in here as well, Corey. I think one of the things that...
Sorry about that.
That's okay. No worries, mate. This isn't live TV or anything. You're all right. It's just a live YouTube show. The difficulty I find with it is, look, I've been supporting Spurs for just coming up to 40 years, right? And you ask any fan of that age, and I doubt you two are that age, but when you do speak to fans of that age, they'll tell you there's been many a false dawn. Right, many a time where we've won our first 3 or 4 games, and people are going, "See, you're wrong. We're brilliant. We're winning." And I've just learnt over the years that things change like that. Yeah. Right, you could be winning 4 games in a row. Next thing you know, 2 of your strikers are injured. You don't win for another 5. So I always try and look at I try and always sit on the fence and go, "Okay, you think we're going to batter Chelsea, but are we belittling them?" Now, what I struggle with is when I just get fans that go, "Oh, Chelsea are crap." There is no evidence that Chelsea are crap. This is a team that made 2 cup finals last year, the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and finished 3rd, even with a big drop off at the end. So I just think I like to stay right. Can we beat Chelsea? Yes. I'm not saying we can't. I hear this every year though. And I'm waiting for the day we actually go to Chelsea and you go, yeah, that was comprehensive. Corey, talk to me. Can we beat Chelsea on Sunday? And is this the best chance we've had for many years going there?
Yeah. Well, the chances are great. I mean, it's going to be a war of attrition as well. It's going to be a very tightly fought game. It's going to be a goal probably scored in the last 5-10 minutes of the match. It's going to be one of those things, you know, when people bang on about Chelsea are crap, they're not. I could sit here and honestly say as a Tottenham supporter, a little bit jealous of the money they got or had, but now that Abramovich isn't there, they have to be a bit more specific in their signings. Sterling, quality addition. They brought in, what's that guy from Italy?
Koulibaly.
Been looking at for about 6 years. Can't remember his name.
Koulibaly.
The problem's going to be at centre back, I believe. Yeah, Koulibaly. Yeah.
So
just like you, Savva, I've been a supporter for nearly 32 years. I'm 37 now. I've been going to Tottenham with my granddad and my uncle, so on and off.
Let me ask you 2 a question. I'll start with you, Charlie. Again, devil's advocate, sitting on the fence, right? Surely as a host, that's part of my job as well. I keep hearing that Chelsea are very light at the back, right? At the moment, without any signings, their back 5 is Reece James, Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, Azpilicueta, and Ben Chilwell, right? Without any signings, ours is what? Royal, Sessegnon, Dyer, Davis, Romero. Is our back 5 better than their back 5, Charlie?
I don't think you can say yes, to be honest, because if you look, I think, do you know where I think people are getting it from with Chelsea and stuff? I think I think they have a point in this as well. I think if you look at the second half of last season, they just couldn't defend at all at times. If you look at, like, for example, when they like rolled over against Arsenal and stuff, like, when did they ever concede 4 at home with that back 5?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think that's where people get this narrative from. I think what I would say is I don't think you can compare our back 5 to Chelsea, simply because a big factor for me is the wing backs. That's been kind of our biggest issue for a while now, especially with Conte. And I think players like Reece James and Chilwell, these are some of the best wing backs in the world, to be honest. So I think that's where one of the main parts. I think when it comes to the 3, I think for me, I think Romero gets in there. I think he's absolutely quality, Romero. But I think the other two, I think. Yeah, I think definitely the likes of Thiago Silva. I know he's old, but he still reads the game like a genius,
Romero's
to be
quality.
honest, Thiago. Yeah, and who's
just
the other one?
quickly? Sorry, just quickly, Corey, you need to log off, sort your internet out, and then log back on. You're going to hear me say this in about 15 seconds' time. You're miles behind, mate. Charlie, let me ask you then. I mean, hang on, just before we do, Billy, I've just mentioned our back 5 from Saturday that people are telling me in the chat they want to start against Chelsea. So how am I mentioning the worst players in those positions? Do we have sorry, I can't win. I asked for Perisic, Doherty and Longley to start and I'm told no. But then when I use Sessegnon, Royal and Davis in the argument, I'm told, oh, why am I using the worst players? Some people are... Yeah.
Do you know what I would say is for me against Chelsea, I think you have to throw the likes of Perisic in there. I think you could even argue for Longley, even though I thought Davis has done very well. I'll tell you why. It's because I'm sure we'll come on to this a bit more later. But for me with Chelsea, there's always the reason, and this as a fan, this has really pissed me off as well because I don't like losing to them. But there seems to be this mental block type of thing. Like we've come into games against Chelsea where we've actually been the team on the better form, and then we've just frozen, to be honest. Whenever we've gone, especially at Stamford Bridge, we've just completely frozen. And I think, for me, we need players like Perisic, these actual winners that have been there and done it, that maybe can help push the rest of the team on when it comes to, like, going there and just not freezing, basically. I think that's why, for me, you have to play your strongest possible team. And people like Perisic, I think, could be vital on Sunday. I really do. Because people like that can push us through those types of games.
I mean, as well, I think, there are 3 or 4 games a season where they're going to be tough games. The likes of City, the likes of Liverpool, the likes of West Ham, Chelsea. These are not easy games. And that's the reason you bring in your Perisic's, right, for those big moments. What I don't want to see for me personally is if Sessegnon does start, then we're trying to bring on Perisic to rescue situations. I feel like it needs to be the other way around. But Charlie, I mean, lots of talk this year about will we finish 3rd, will we finish 2nd? In any way, shape or form, can you see us overtaking either of the top 2?
The top 2, as things stand, I'm not convinced, to be honest, because I think those 2 have just set the standards incredibly high. Like you look at the amount of points Liverpool and City are getting every season. You're looking at mid-90s to, I think one of them got 99 not so long ago. So I think to set those standards, it's going to take more than just one window. It's going to be a long kind of process, whatever you want to call it, to just kind of get for any team to get to those standards. I think they're just something the Premier League's never really seen before. But what I would say is I think we can finish 3rd. I think Chelsea, as you said, they could sign the likes of Fofana or Dumfries. I think the other one was. So there's always that. But I think with Conte there, I don't think we can underestimate what Conte can do. Because if you look at it, like in January, when we bought in Kulu and Bentancur, a lot of fans weren't particularly satisfied with that window at all. But then you look at what Conte did to get us top 4 when we were about 10 points behind or something. So for me, you can never underestimate Conte. Like as fans, I know you more so than me because you're a lot older than me. But like we've never seen like a proper elite manager at our club. Like Poch was very good, but he wasn't elite. He wasn't top tier. So for me, it's kind of new to all of us
Mourinho.
having an elite manager, because we can't. Mourinho was past it at the time when he came. We can't underestimate what he can do for me. So I think there is a possibility to finish third for sure, but I think it's going to be tight. It's not going to be easy at all.
Okay, Phil, let me bring you in here. This is your first time on the show, I believe.
Yeah, hi Savva, how are you, mate?
I'm good. Loving the beard game. Strong beard game going on right over there where you are. Phil, what do you make of Spurs' start? And you know, are the fans right to be kind of overly optimistic, or are we getting carried away like we normally do when we win our first game of the season? What do you reckon, mate?
You know what? I think there's. I'm probably very much on the positive train, I've got to say.
Sure.
Savva, I think what you bring to the table is a healthy dose of realism, and you're always asking the questions. Some people can't take that, obviously, but you want the best for the club. I think that's what people need to bear in mind. And as you always say, it's not negative. You're just asking the questions. And
Phil,
look,
do you know what
from my
it is?
point,
The thing is, and my mates will tell you this, when I'm speaking to them about football, which isn't just Spurs, I will always ask a question that makes them think, right? So rather than just going, do you rate Dybala? And someone going, no, yes. I'll always put a spin on it and go, if Dybala X, Y, Z, what do you think the outcome would be? And it makes people think. And I think a lot of people in the chat, they almost feel like if they say anything which isn't Spurs are the best and Spurs are going to win 4-0 and everyone else's players are crap, that they're not as good a fan as they think they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. And look, you know what? I get it, and I think there's a lot of, you know, in any sort of fan group now, whether it's Spurs, whether it's, you know, other football clubs, you know, whether it's politics, I think there's almost now a tribalism in life where if you're not fully drinking from the Kool-Aid, you're anti. You know, if you're not with us, you're against us, sort of thing. So the chance to nuance is, and that's not nonce for any Arsenal fans that might be in here trolling, you know, is gone. So that's, I think, one of the biggest things, one of the biggest problems. But going back to the original question, I would definitely say I'm in a positive space. I know we could have done better in the window. I know we could have really rolled, you know, pushed the boat out and got quality, you know, more quality in the right back position, for example, or attacking mids or whatever you want, another quality centre half. But at the end of the day, we moved quick and we moved early, which was very un-Levy-like. So I still think Levy maybe chained to a radiator, maybe next to the radiator that Nuno's still chained to after his hostage video last summer. So, you know, big up to Conte and all the boys who've managed to chain Levy up and still get the HSBC Net Access code, you know, for all the bank transfers. But, you know, free Levy in the end of the day, free Levy. You know, we live in an open democracy. Levy. So, you know, hashtag free Levy.
Hopefully he's chained and gagged somewhere.
Free him from Enfield. Let him leave Enfield once and for all. But look, I'm more positive, Savva, I've got to say. I think huge part of this, if anyone who's ever sat near me in block 258 will probably say, where's this come from? This feels a different character to the one we hear swearing his head off every time we play. But I think the pandemic has put a few things in perspective to me. And I think to a certain extent, you know, we've seen some dark days, and, you know, I think now we're in a much more positive space. I think Conte is changing the club on and off the pitch. And yeah, it's only baby steps. Unfortunately, we haven't made the quantum leap forward that we all hoped we might this summer. But look, the guy has turned water into wine, and not just at our club last season, beforehand. That's where my optimism comes from. You know, a whole season of Conte, working with slightly better players. And look, on Saturday, the biggest thing I think people saw was the quality of Bentancur, the quality of Kulusevski, gone through. And they were, you know, Juve fans were trolling us, saying, you know, thanks for taking these players off our book. You know, so if that's what we can do with 2 rejects, what can we do with a few more? So let's see what happens. I think you've said it, Savva, so many times. We pay the highest ticket prices. for association football in the UK, which probably means the world. So we've got the right to ask for more. We're still, we're paying prices of the Ivy, and we're getting, basically kebab shop burgers. And as a fellow Greek, there's nothing wrong with a kebab shop, but we're paying over the odds for it. So big up the kebab shops of North London, but let's get a bit more quality, and if we're paying for it.
Okay, thanks for that, Phil. Let me bring the ditcher in here. Just quickly, there's 140 of you in the chat, only 55 likes. Please make an effort between all of you to press the like button. If anyone did want to make a super chat, then please don't forget 50% of it does go to the British Heart Foundation.
Savva, what do you think of me repping the 01 Robbie Keane?
That shirt reminds me of Anthony Gardner for some reason. I don't know why. It just reminds me of Anthony Gardner. But look, let me bring in a ditcher here. He's been patiently waiting. A ditcher, what did you want to say, my man?
Yeah, I think the performance was really good. I'm very satisfied. Like, unlike the previous seasons, either we used to lose games, or even if we won, the performances weren't convincing. Like the last season, we won the first 3, but I was not content with those performances, and it showed out against Arsenal, against Palace, against West Ham, against these kind of teams, against Chelsea. So I think this season will be much different from last season.
So let me ask you then. I mean, was the performance that good?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean,
Southampton are known for their high press. Like they don't sit back. They press you very high, and dealing with that pressure, like many teams do score a lot of goals against them, but when they get their game going, like they beat West Ham last year in the FA Cup 3-1, and they were really good. So at times they play really well as well. So they are not that bad a team as you think they are.
I don't think it's what I think. It's what I saw. They were absolutely horrendous. They didn't have anything going forward. They had nothing up front at all. Their back 3 was all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. The goalkeeper making his debut, you could tell the goalkeeper was making his debut. This is my worry. Is I feel like we're really over-egging a good result, trying to make it an amazing performance against a very poor team.
I won't call them very poor team. At the end of the day, they are a Premier League team, and we have to play them twice out of the 38 games.
That doesn't mean they're not poor.
They are still amongst the top 20 teams in England.
Right, but that doesn't mean they're not a poor Premier League team.
Okay, are they not better than Everton? Are they not better than Fulham? Are they not better than Forest? Are they
on what basis? What I saw Fulham do against Liverpool at the weekend was very impressive.
One good game.
Okay, one good game, but the one good game is the same thing you're using as a benchmark.
Do you think Fulham will carry this on for the entire season?
No, of course we won't.
And Southampton have carried themselves for many years in the Premier League regularly. Once they came up, they never got relegated.
Who's scoring the goals to keep them up?
No one.
I mean, let me open that up to everyone.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Talk to me, guys. Everyone in the chat. Southampton. Who's scoring?
Boy, sorry, I've got to go because my connection's rubbish. Good to see you, though, Savva. Good to see you, boys.
Good to see you. Take care.
Sorry about the connection. I think Levy found out I was bad-mouthing him and he's shutting me down.
Yeah, he does that to me every day. No worries, mate.
Love you.
Let him off the radio.
So guys, talk to me. You four in the chat, talk to me. Who's scoring more than 10 goals this year in a Southampton team?
It's going to be a struggle.
More than 10 goals. That's difficult. I think Shea Adams will score 8 or 9, maybe around that much.
Who?
Shea Adams.
Okay. How many did Shea Adams get last year?
I think he got around 8, 9, I guess. He did.
Let's have a look.
The question was
Stuart Armstrong.
I think their main guy was Brozier last season, who they've lost.
He only scored 5 goals.
And Chelsea would probably end up loaning back out again.
I mean, Shea Adams got 7 goals last year.
And assists.
3.
Okay, not much. Okay, fine. Yeah.
So this is the thing for me. I think I see what you do, Ditcher. I see your game a mile
But
off.
do 14th finishing, 15th finishing teams really score that many goals? I don't think they do. Will
No,
Everton,
then
Fulham
Meaty and
score
Brighton.
many goals? No, but Brighton finished higher. No, Brighton finished 9th or 10th. They
Yeah,
finished
but
much
I'm
higher.
from Brighton, and even Brighton struggled to score goals. They've now lost Cucurella. They lost Yves Bissouma, 2 of their outstanding players last season.
Do you know what it is with Brighton compared to like Southampton? Brighton actually are very difficult to break down. They have a very,
I've
very
gone to
good
the Amex
structure
quite a
about
lot.
them. Yes, they're a tough team to play against, Brighton. We saw that yesterday.
But then they are playing a very poor United with a centre-back that's a donkey.
Just quickly, Bobby Szymanski saying, I'm disrespecting Southampton. Dude, I can only go by what I saw. And as I said to you, Henry Wright and I, we sat there in the stand and we saw the 11 come up on the big screen. And we both looked at each other and went, oh, that's poor, that's weak.
They beat us last season, bro.
Pardon?
Is that not true? They beat us last season.
Yeah, but that's
With
last
Conte.
season.
But that's last season.
That was in our worst spell under Conte.
Yeah, this is
This
the thing.
Foot in the door as well, Conte, wasn't it? That Southampton.
Yeah,
No, but it is not 2-1 or 1-0, Savva. It's 4-1. Isn't it? It's 4-1.
They have history just like we do. But at the end of the day, Savva's question really was, how many goals will they get? They're going to be in a relegation doghouse.
I think they will get around maybe 35 goals.
Just because a team beat us last season doesn't mean they're guaranteed to beat us.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So look at this. This is telling. Scott M has said Southampton only had more wins than the 3 teams that were relegated. They are not good. This is silly. I think the thing is with Southampton is
they may be having many draws.
Hang on, Aditya, you've got to let me. I'm mid-flow, man. I'm mid-flow. The thing is with Southampton is, I think they work wonders with what they've got for what they spend and for the players they've got. I'm not knocking them on that front. So when there's people saying I'm disrespecting them, what I'm saying is, and Bobby, I'm not sure when you're saying how reactionary am I, mate. Listen, Southampton weren't that great last year either, and I think they're weaker this year. So when I think they will stay up, I don't think they will go down. I think they will stay up purely because I think there are 3 worse teams. But what I'm saying is I'm not going to base Spurs' season on us beating a very poor Southampton team 4-1. Bobby, you're another one of these, aren't you? I'm not right, Bobby. As I just said, I'm not basing my Spurs opinion on my Southampton opinion on one game. I thought they were really poor for the majority of last season as well.
Yeah, they were.
Sorry.
No, I am basing our season on the basis of our performances since. Okay, go on. You are speaking. Go on.
No.
Go on, Charlie.
I was just saying what Southampton always do every season is they'll win like 10 games in a row, and then people will be like, yeah, they can push for like the top half and stuff. But then what they'll do is they'll go and lose 10. They do it every season, always.
Yeah.
Every year.
We used to be like 15, 20 years ago. We'd win 5, 6 games and then not win anything for about 10,
Savva,
15
we are
games.
third in the table. Since Conte came to the club, we are third best team in Premier League. As per statistics. Number of goals scored, number of goals conceded, and number of points. We are third best.
Listen, Aditya, I'm not doubting that. Aditya, I think the thing is, a word that people don't really like in football, which I like to apply, is the C word, right? Context. So we can, I know where you thought.
I was thinking of another C word, but...
Right. It's all well and good saying from when Conte came in, we were third, most goals, etc., etc. This year's a whole different ball game. We've now got a Champions League campaign to fit into that as well.
2 games a week.
2 games a week, not against the likes of Moura.
We had Conference League last season.
Right, and how many? Right, again. Sometimes just think, how many games did Antonio Conte manage for us in the Conference League?
1.
Huh?
1, I guess.
2. 2. One of which he lost to Moura, right? So when
Farmers.
right, this is the problem. I'm not doubting Antonio Conte. I think people have got to make this distinction. I'm not doubting Antonio Conte, but when we're talking about what he did last season, when basically he came and we weren't in Europe and we didn't go deep in any of the cups under him, did we? We got
League Cup
knocked out of the
semi-final?
FA. You what?
League Cup semi-final?
Was it the League Cup semi-final?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Against Chelsea.
No,
We
not
beat
down
West Ham in the quarterfinals.
Was it
Knocked
I
down the
remember
Yeah,
Wolves.
League Cup semi-final.
Okay, sorry,
We
League Cup
lost to Chelsea, no?
semi-final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then who did? Well, how did we do in those games? And then the FA Cup, we got knocked out to Middlesbrough. The Conference
Yeah.
League, we got knocked out by
Embarrassing,
Moura. Now we're going to 2 games a week. So
2
for
games
me,
a week against proper teams as well. That's the
Yeah,
Exactly.
Not
You
like
can't
your
rest
below
players in
par.
the Champions League.
No,
really.
I'm not saying with the present squad everything is rosy. We need 2 or 3 more players, definitely. Our transfer window is not very good up until now. That
It's
I'll
all
agree
right.
with. We need 2 or 3
I think
players
it's
more.
been decent, but we just need a couple.
Yeah, it's been all right.
Yeah,
It's
just
not
what Bobby
been
said there. We were
spectacular.
knocked down the
It's like
percent
6 or
fixture.
7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'll
agree.
give it-
6
I'll
out of
probably
10,
give
not
it
even
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, I'd say
I
6 or 7.
found my person that's going to be against me the whole show. I like it when I find this person in the show. Moura is a stupid example. Is Moura a stupid example because it proves that we lost under Conte in Europe?
No, it's not a
and then-
stupid example.
And then saying we were knocked out of Europe because of a postponed fixture. But if we hadn't have lost the
No,
game to Moura,
we were
wouldn't have
anyways
been
third.
Do you know?
And then
Do you know?
We were
also
anyways
you
third in
had
the
an Olympian
table.
outbreak as well.
Sorry, do you know what it was? I think with the Conference League and stuff is the squad we had last season. Obviously, we don't know exactly what the squad's going to look like this season because the window hasn't finished. But from the squad we had the first half of last season, the simple fact was the players just didn't give a shit about the Conference League. That's how I
Yeah,
looked
that's
at
true.
it. They just strolled around thinking they were too big for it. To be honest,
But I think isn't that an issue though?
But then, Charlie,
Do you think
can I
that's an
just ask
issue?
you something?
That's
on that?
lack of
Coming out
mentality.
that competition, didn't that help us push our season on last year? Because it was such an unknown, the Conference League. You're going
Yeah.
to like
Bro,
the
but
middle of
I
nowhere.
agree.
we
and the
missed
players
out
are
on a
coming
chance
back
on
jet
trophy,
lag.
bro.
Guys, you can't keep talking all over each other. We've had this chat before. We've got a one at a time. And can you all speak up as well? I'm getting people say it's quiet. Can you, Charlie, say that again, mate?
Sorry, no, I was just saying that with the Conference League last season, one of the big reasons we went out was because I think there was a serious attitude problem. To be honest, I think
Oh, yeah.
with a lot, not every player, but for I'd say mostly kind of the fringe players, because with Nuno it was like A team and B team and stuff from the league to the Conference League. I think there was a serious attitude problem. People like Delhi, who have obviously gone now, but like they just thought they were too big for the Conference League. That's the way I looked at it, and this happened under Mourinho as well. The likes of against Antwerp, the likes of Zagreb, as we know. I think there was just a serious attitude problem, and I'm hoping anyway that's going to be gone. First of all, because we're in the Champions League, so the players are obviously going to care. But secondly, I think a lot of those players are gone. Obviously, Delhi's gone, Lo Celso will go, Ndombele will go, Winks.
They should
I
just
think,
tear
is
up
another
his
one.
contract then,
So
Dembele.
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to run into that again, because I think anyway, I might be wrong, but from where I saw it, I think those players are basically gone now anyway.
Charlie, agreed. And I think, look, the one, as you know, look, I keep my feet on the ground. What I want to see before I start going mad is once the Premier League and Champions League are in tandem every 3 or 4 days, that's when I want to see how we rotate, how our top players cope, and how well the team is managed. Yeah, I think it's easy to say after we beat a really poor Southampton team. It's easy to go, oh my God, we're going to finish second. We're brilliant. But that's great. Good win. But let's not do what we did last year when we won the first 3 games under Nuno.
What I would say is we definitely look a lot better than last year in the first 3 games. But anyway, I agree. I agree with you. In the sense, it's okay to just keep your feet on the ground. That's the thing. Like, what's we don't want to be like the Gooners, where on Friday they were singing "We're top of the league" and stuff. We don't want to be like that fan base. So I think fans should just keep their feet on the ground. There's nothing wrong with that. There's
no, the fans are overhyping Kulusevski already, bro. Like I'm not liking that personally. Like this is what makes players go on a decline. Overhyping any player, even if it's first player, to be honest. That's what happened to Dele Alli. You know what I'm saying?
No, hang on. No, I'm sorry. I think, look, if a player being overhyped, makes them lose focus, then they're not the player that they thought they were. Because there are many top players that were hyped when they were young and had amazing careers. Dele Alli's downfall is not down to fans.
It's his attitude.
Dele Alli's downfall, absolutely, Corey. Dele Alli's downfall is down to his personality.
Mr. Boohoo Man. That's what I call him now.
Also, Dele's a luxury player.
The thing, this is what I think of Dele. He's
No,
going
but we did
like
hype
a
him too much.
certain player that retired at the age of 29 and made a bar in Spain that used to play for us. Good old
All he
Mr.
cares about
Bentley.
is Boohoo Man. That's all he cares about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, look. At the end of the day, I do agree with you to a degree. Like, I really, really rate Kulusevski. But some of the comparisons I've seen.
Robin comparison, bro. Come on. Ribery, Robin, all those comparisons are coming. Why comparing?
That's too much. That's too much.
You've got to let me finish my sentence, Aditya. You can cut me off every time I'm about to make my point. I've seen him linked to George Best.
What?
Right. That's
a different era of football.
Robin? Like, no, he's not like Robin.
But it's not about who he's like. These are some of the legends of our game. I think he's brilliant. I do. But I feel that we should let players get a year, 2 years of consistency under their belt before they are praised to the point that they've got nowhere to fall. Do you know what I mean?
It's these young players, isn't it? Really, Savva. You've got the Michael Owens that came in, burned brightly for a bit, then an injury absolutely ruined his career. Rooney came in blazing on, and then he tailed off. I mean, we've got to stop putting so much pressure on these young men. These are men.
Saka as well.
I just think people go over the top whenever there's a good performance.
Oh yeah,
Arsenal fans do the same with Saka, isn't it?
One game this season.
That's all it is. 1 minute we're at the top. Next minute we're getting relegated. That's how the online fan base is.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
I think. Look, the thing is, it's this, right? As I've already stated a million times before everyone has a go at me, I don't see any reason why we can't go and beat Chelsea. For me, it's the insinuation from so many people that they're crap. We're easily going to beat Chelsea, and I just think. Nothing's happened to suggest that. And if we don't, the people that are saying that, if we don't beat Chelsea, where do they go from that opinion?
They'll do a Klopp and do a blame it on the pitch thing. It's too dry. That's what that fan base will do.
It rained too much.
Right.
It rained too much. It's not raining.
Guys, I'd rather be pleasantly surprised. I'm not surprised. I'd rather watch the game and go, God, what a good performance that was. That is a great performance. We have won. We fully deserved it. But what I can't do, having learnt my lesson for many years, is sit and go, easy, 3 points, Chelsea. I heard it last year, and they beat us
3
4
times
out of 4 games.
Wasn't it?
Every single game they beat us.
4
Did we even
games.
score a goal?
We did not score a goal.
No, we didn't score, and it's just sickening. It's just I've had enough because I don't like them.
Here's a question for you, though, guys. So
just quickly,
Kulu, Kane, and Son. Richardson come off on the bench. Zaniolo with his injury problems. Who else could we bring in to bolster the front line? We need a creative midfielder. We know the problems that we need. We need creative outlet. Maddison was linked. Probably not coming to us. Probably going to Newcastle. Then we've got problems at the back. Dyer, for me, is a good player. He's not great. We need someone to upgrade on Dyer. It's next to Remora, and our left side is looking great with Ivan coming in. Our right side, questionable with Emerson, Doherty. I mean, we brought in a young lad. What we should do is get rid of at least either Doherty or Emerson to bring in and mould him now, Spence. Then we look at our midfield. We brought in Yves. I mean, being a Brighton lad, not seeing that guy walking around town now in Brighton is going to be different for me. You know, I'm always bumping into the Brighton players down here. But it's like, who else do we now bring in after spending most of our budget on Richarlison?
I agree. Just quickly, Ugun Labo. Beautiful thing about my channel is I put the link in the chat. Come on, tell me why I'm negative with a structured debate.
I'm exactly like you, Savva. I'm a fan like you. I've been a fan 32 years. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, I've seen the time where we nearly got relegated a few seasons ago. And then we've been promised so much from the arseholes in charge. This season, we're going to make it different. This season, we're going to make it different. And it's been going on 25 years now.
Yeah.
Every year since the Premier League has started, since Enoch and Levy came in, we were promised the sun and we got the fucking moon. We got the dark side of the moon. I'm not negative. To be an optimist, you need to be a pessimist.
Listen, people like that, they will never ever come on because he can't string a sentence together as to why it's negative.
It's an
anyway,
opinion.
Moving on, guys. Moving on. I want to talk about something else. Moving on. So at the moment, Tottenham have 4/5 central midfield options if we include Papa Sarr, depending on whether or not he goes back out on loan or stays. We have got Oliver Skipp, who is injured at the moment. We have got Yves Bissouma. We have got Bentancur, and we've got Højbjerg. Lots of chat around what is going to be the strongest midfield two. Now, I'm an advocate, lads, that it's a squad game, so you need all of them. Of course you do. But for the purposes of this debate, we are going to talk about what is the best two if you're playing in a big game and you want your best two central midfielders. Kick off for me.
Okay.
What's the best two central midfielders at this club, and would it be a good balance together?
For me, it has to be Bentancur and Bissouma. Because
why?
number one, Bentancur has to start because he can do absolutely everything. Like he
He
defend.
does the dirty part of the game as well.
He does everything, literally. And for me, Bissouma, we've been crying out for a player to I'm not saying he's going to replace Dembele because we don't really know yet, but we need someone to carry the ball forwards, right?
Yeah.
Bissouma's meant to be the guy. So for me, Bentancur and Bissouma are the pairing that I would go with.
Well, coming to that, I mean, I even though being a Tottenham supporter, I've been invited to go and watch a lot of Brighton matches because my aunt's a season ticket holder, blah, blah, blah. Yves is a quality driver forward of the ball. He has an excellent vision of passes as well. Sometimes
he's got a good shot, doesn't he, as well?
He has a cracking shot, but what can let him down sometimes is his concentration. Sometimes Yves will just switch, and he'll be on the break. He'll just turn and go, what the hell's going on here? Why everyone's bombing past him?
Just quickly, lads. Sorry, Ugan Labo is backstage. Ugan Labo, if I'm saying your name right, camera on or camera on.
Come on, son.
Yeah. You have to put your camera on to come on the show. I need to know that it's not one of the trolls. I need to know that it's not one of my haters. So if you put your camera on right now, and I know you can hear me, if you put the camera on, I can let you on right now and you can have a debate with me as to why I'm negative. I'm not sure what I said that was negative, but we can have that
chat.
You're
calling me negative then, because I'm just a fan exactly like you, Savva. I've sat on the fence so much with being promised everything, and then every year
just keep replies. Oh my god!
He's literally just put in the private chat. You're negative.
Yeah, I mean, you're negative.
Right,
you're negative.
Dude, you can grow up and come on, or you can't. It's up to you. But you keep saying I'm negative. Come on and tell me what I'm negative about.
I've got to ask this guy how long he's been a fan for.
Yeah, but he won't show himself because he knows he'll make himself look like a right idiot when he's
probably
got
like a 12-year-old or something. That's just my guess.
Yeah,
no offense if you're like, but yeah.
Come on, Ugan Labo, come on, you're backstage. You can do this. It's the whole. When you say so, just for the purpose of the chat, everyone in the chat, he is backstage and he has said to me in the private chat, appreciate something for once. Yeah. I don't know what that means. When you say appreciate something for once, I must have spent, I don't know how many fat Annies dropped. Of course he has. I must have spent how many thousands of pounds over the last 40 odd years following Tottenham Hotspur home and away, merchandise, tickets. I don't think it's about me appreciating something now. I think it's about at some stage.
They've got to start paying back the
some
loyalty
stage
to us fans.
Right.
Exactly. We got the stadium, isn't it? So
the stadium.
Right.
Take all that, put it to one side. Right, you've built the infrastructure. You've got the manager. Where's the team? You look at what Sheikh Mansour did when he came into City 15 years ago, or whatever it was, 2009. Started off with really immediately sort of like okayish players, and they built up from a base, then they built up more, then they built the infrastructure, started sorting out their stadium, started bringing in managers that can actually bring these players in. Okay, they've had a few weird choices in their transfer history before, like the crazy Italian for once, setting off fireworks in his bathtub's always good, but then you look at the success. All right, money has brought that success for them. Like Chelsea, they were before the money, mid-table like us. They didn't scratch 2 pennies together.
Just quickly, Corey. Sorry, Gogama. You're a wonderful lady. You're in all the Spurs YouTube chats. You really do show the love and support. Thank you so much for the super sticker, and I hope you are well. Go and follow Gogama on Instagram as well. Some really cool photos that she puts up. So thank you very much for that. Guys, let me steer this back. So Haz has gone for Basuma Bentancur. Is there an argument for any other pairing? Can any of you put anything forward that would suggest that isn't our best central midfield pairing?
I'd swap the formation around. I'd play 3 in midfield, play 2 up top with the wing backs bombing on with Bentancur behind Yves, and I don't know who to pick here, because as much as I think we have to bring in another midfielder.
I think we have to bring in another midfielder for that to properly say we can do 3-5-2.
Yeah, I think.
But, not has like sitting in front of the back 3, as in like a small triangle of like possession in the midfield, so you could have Bentancur kind of holding up and looking for the pass while Yves bombs on as the box to box.
Savva talks West Ham.
Savva!
Oh, dear.
You're a hammer now. I love all these fake accounts, dude. It brings me so much.
How many? They still exist. I didn't know they're still going on. It's been like.
Mate, there's Savva talks Arsenal. Savva talks LGBTQ.
What?
I saw Savva talks mums. Don't even know what that means. And now Savva talks West Ham. And the problem, do you know the funny thing is, like, now I just think it's funny because think how sad this human being's life is.
He's got no friends.
Think how
created
sad.
like 50 email accounts or something.
Do you think it's the same guy that makes all the accounts?
For
it must
sure.
be the same guy. It must be the same guy.
Although
it's someone who's so sad.
Picture, so.
I'll tell you what, Savva talks West Ham. The link's in the chat. Come and join us. Come and join us. Show yourself for the big man that you are. Come on.
And Ogura, whatever your name is. We're still waiting for you guys to come and have a proper debate.
Ogura, whatever her name is. Sorry, I can't say her name right.
I can't
Here you go.
There's
there's the chat. Let's do it. Okay, so that's an interesting question. So let's ignore Savva talks West Ham for a minute. We'll talk West Ham later if you want.
Shit.
Well, that was a quick conversation. So, Corey, interesting theory there, because one of my mates said this to me the other day as well. He said, everyone's talking about the 2. He said, I'd play 3. So here's the thing. Here's the question. If we play 3, who is not playing? Kane,
Winks,
Son, or Kulusevski?
For me, it's all a case of who's down into form at that present time. I mean, Kulu's always going to be on it because he's hungry for it. Son, amazing, but at nearly 31, can he continue this for another 3 years? Like Kane coming into his 30s, can he continue this onto his 32, 33? I'm not too sure. I'm not being negative on that there. I mean, they're going to start spiraling somewhere where then it's not going to click for them. Who to drop out the front 3? I mean, to me, like I've always said, it always comes down to form and who's on it at that time.
But could you really hear? Okay, let me phrase this another way. Could you really, really, really see either Son, Kane, or Kulusevski sitting on a bench in a big game?
To be fair, you can put
in a big game. You could start with those 3, but then if you're like 2-3-0 up, bring one of them off to save them, and then transition into the 3-5-2, and then try and hold up the play in the middle of the park and try and block the team coming in to attack. So let's say,
Deb, I'm not upset. If I was upset, I wouldn't call the person on. I just think it's funny. This is Phil
High
P.
ceilings.
Everyone always thinks I've got high ceilings in my house. I'm not sure why.
He stands up his head to the ceiling.
Do you know what? I've just moved here, right? And I'm renovating. And one of the things that someone keeps mentioning is the colour of this lampshade, of this light shade.
Is that
And it's
red?
like-
Is that why? 'Cause it's red?
Yeah, it's like, don't worry, it's going. But I just can't believe the things people pick up on, right? It's like
Oh, the pictures in the background.
unbelievable. So go on. In any way, we can see a free being played in the middle, can we?
Maybe in
We
big
can, but
games. I
In
don't know.
big
Maybe
games,
in
like I
bigger
said,
games.
if we've got control of the game, then we could bring one of the front three off to save their legs for the next game. You know, it's very durable in Conte's system. As he's proven before, he can take off a striker or a winger to consolidate the midfield to make it tougher to break down, and it relieves some of the pressure on the defence as well. If you have more bodies in the middle of the park defending, if you're 3-0 up against the likes of, say, like a Real Madrid or a Barcelona in the Champions League, if you go 2-3-0 up, do you not want to consolidate that and try and block out their attacking threats, their creative midfielding threat? It's a very interesting system that Conte has, because he can always go, right, I don't think it's working today. I can take off Son, Kane or Kulu and bring on Yves or Winks to shore up that midfield and maybe push Basuma on to have Bentancur and Højbjerg sit for a bit so that, you know, Yves can bomb through the middle all day long. The guy has dribbling ability like I've not seen down in Brighton, you know. But to hold up that play and then pick off the pass to Yves and then use the wing backs to bomb on with him, you're still creating that overload from midfield and down the wings with the wing backs.
Absolutely. Okay, just quickly. Savva, that gap between your shelves and the ceiling is bugging me out. Do you know what it is? At night, that lights up. There's a light above the shelving that lights up. So it was done on purpose. All right, they're purpose built. Okay, let me move this on. Oh, hang on. Who have we got in the chat? We've got Phil P.
It's back.
And we've got AFC B Fan TV.
What?
Is this your first time on?
Yeah.
And who is it that you support?
AFC Bournemouth.
Who is it that you support, my friend?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
You support Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I've got it
Okay,
right.
so you're happy then. You are what, second in the league at the moment?
Yeah.
And what was the performance like at the weekend?
Yeah.
I like it.
Hello?
Yeah, very good.
Hello?
Did you want to say something about Spurs or just about Bournemouth in general, or you just wanted to join in? What is it that you wanted to say?
Hey, oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can. Okay. What was it? Did you want to mention anything about Spurs or?
No.
Okay. Did you want to say anything else then before I let you go, or you just wanted to say you just wanted to say hello? I'm gonna listen. Thanks for coming on. I'm gonna let you go, but thanks for coming on, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye
Take a
bye.
trip down to the Vitality lads to say hello to him.
Oh, was he a Bournemouth fan? Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
so,
please.
yeah.
West Ham Fan TV
Yeah, I
is
saw
in
that.
the chat. Dude, turn your camera on and join in. Dude, turn your camera on and I will get you on.
Is that the actual one or is that a fake account?
Mate, I don't know.
Because there
There's
is an actual one, isn't there?
There's so many trolls on the internet. It's just, I don't know what's going on. Let's try and get back to some sort of normality talking about football, shall we?
Or your house?
Or my house, yeah. I mean, great. Yeah, I've got shelves and lights and stuff. It's all
Just like
fucking
everybody
normal.
else at the house, yeah.
Right, let's get back to my football. Let's talk about Okay, West Ham Fan TV, I'm going to boot you out unless you put your camera on. Please, you're now ruining the show. I'm going to block you if you don't put your camera on in the next 5 seconds.
4, 3.
If not, all right, see you later, mate. Right, okay, guys, let's move this forward then. So we've got Chelsea at the weekend and then Wolves afterwards. What do we all think? Phil P is back. What do we all think our point situation is going to look like after the first 3 games? Let me start with you, Charlie.
Obviously, the Chelsea game is one that every year I just dread, because every year, no matter what form they're in, no matter what form we're in, it always just seems to go the same way at the Bridge. We'll always just freeze, and they'll turn into like the best team football's ever seen. But I think this time, what I would say is, I think it's a good time to play them. I think in that first game against Everton, I didn't think they looked convincing at all. I think also all the second half of last season, I feel like maybe we don't know yet for sure because it's only been the first game, but maybe that could be kind of continuing into this season. But without a doubt, it's going to be such a tough game. This is a team we haven't scored an open play goal against since 2018. So naturally, extremely. And it's, for me, this against Chelsea, it will be a test to see how far we've come, because if we can go there and at least put in a proper performance, right, it will show that there's a mentality change and that Conte's really kind of getting kind of far ahead with what he's trying to do. So I think it's just so important that we at least go there and just not freeze like we do most years, like, because normally it will just we just freeze. That's literally the only way I can put it. I can't really think of it much else. So I think it will be a tough game, but I think it is the right time to play them. I think this is probably the best chance we have to get a result for a long time, I think, just purely based on what we've seen so far. So I think it will be an extremely tough game, but I think we can get something. It just depends if we turn up and if the players show that they want it and show that the previous games mean nothing. I think that's it. I think if we go there and put the performance, it kind of shows that the previous games, like last season, that history doesn't repeat itself. So for me, it's important to just say history doesn't matter. We're in the present, and let's change things for me.
Okay, I'm going to come to you in a second, Haz.
That's fine. Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, please smash the like button. 130 of you in the chat, 82 likes. Let's get that up to the 100 mark. And tell me in the chat, how many points will we have after we play Chelsea away and Wolverhampton Wanderers at home? Is there a mental block with these players when playing Chelsea? And is it just like Spurs to beat Chelsea and then lose at home to Wolves? Or are we going to completely different Spurs?
Very Tottenham. That's very Tottenham. Well, I think in between the 2 games, we'll probably pick up 4 points. Like, we'll either draw at Chelsea and win against Wolves, or even win at Chelsea and draw at home to Wolves. That's very Tottenham, I guess. But just going into the game, for me, I think I kind of agree with you in some ways that people are kind of underestimating Chelsea. But at the same time, I think it's a very good time to play them because they don't have a striker right now. They're a bit disjointed. I watched the Everton game on the weekend. They didn't seem so solid as I expected them to be. And I think if we're going to beat them, it's going to be now. So we have to take the chance and just be brave.
Yeah, we have to go for them.
I'm not saying we're going to win. We probably won't. And I'll take a point right now. But
okay, that was going to be my next question then, Corey. Right. And I'll come to you, Phil, afterwards. Corey, if I offered you a point right now at Chelsea, are you taking it?
Yeah, but being a Tottenham fan as well, like Charlie said, we haven't scored past them in nearly 4 years. Open play. And I look at it now, like Charlie said, it's probably the best time to go at them. They are I watched the highlights as well. They look very disjointed, not real, with a real identity now since losing 3, maybe 4 of their top quality players. Lukaku has now made the number 9 shirt at Poison Chalice at Chelsea that no one wants to touch.
But with that in mind, with that in mind, then, Corey, isn't that a bit of an oxymoron?
Yeah.
The fact that Lukaku wasn't very good, people then using him as being one of their top players that's left. Which one is it? is he going to be a miss because he's one of their top players, or he flopped and they moved him on?
I feel like there is still something there for Lukaku in that sense of the matter. He's not. You don't become a bad player overnight. It's the system that Tuchel had in place for him.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then when we heard rumours of Conte wanting to bring Lukaku in, my mouth was drooling at that rumour when all that was coming out. I was like, oh, Lukaku, Kane, Kulu, Son, dream team. But I look at it now, Chelsea haven't got an out-and-out striker. They're desperately looking for one. As good as what Thiago Silva is at the back, he's my age, he's 37, all right, he's a professional football player and I'm still looking for a job. So being a single parent is a full-time job anyway in its own, but Lukaku isn't a bad player. He's just not got the right system at Chelsea. He's going to prove that now back on loan at the club that made his name. Now, to offer me a point at Chelsea, yeah, but then with what Charlie said, it's probably the best time to go at them because they look very disjointed. They don't look like they have their identity anymore. Because when Tuchel came in, he changed everything around at Chelsea and they looked threatening. They looked like they could break on the counter and they had a killer eye for a pass. But now all I can see, with the transfers they brought in, they're trying to put paper over cracks and really just try and fill in spots at the moment.
Yeah.
And then that's with us as well. We desperately need a new centre-back.
I agree. We'll come on to the centre back in a minute. Just let's get some of these commentary out. Faz has said, Phil, dude, you need to stop trying, mate. You keep dropping out. Oh, it's not Phil. Sorry, ignore that. I'll get Leon. Apologies.
Hey, you're right.
Faz, hello, Lee. Faz has said, I agree it would be difficult to beat Chelsea, but if we do batter them, how would you then rate us as a team? I mean, look, I'm not knee-jerk enough to say that battering a team once makes you a great team. What I would say is it would definitely show what we're about. I just think I don't want to be involved in any talk of battering a team like Chelsea that don't concede a lot of goals.
It's going to be a tight match, Savva, regardless.
Of course. Look, I think either way we look at it, they're going to have Jorginho and Kante or Kovacic in front of the back five, with Mount dropping in there as well. It's not like they've suddenly turned terrible. So I'm not sure about that.
At least Luan's gone.
Luan's made a good point.
Luan, like I said about Lukaku, it is a lot of Tuchel's own doing there. He brought in this player for just under shy of 100 million. And, okay, he said he didn't want him, but it's Lukaku. The guy can score goals. He proved it at United. He proved it at Everton. He proved it abroad. Comes back to the Premier League, finds the wrong manager, plays the wrong system, and all of a sudden people are thinking he's crap. He's not crap. He just hasn't got the right system around him.
No, I completely agree with that. Give us your Tottenham-Chelsea predictions. 3-2 to Spurs, 3-2 to Tottenham. Someone here has said, I don't want the point. Don't want the point.
I want 3 points as well. We always want 3 points. Yeah. We always want 3 points, but you got to look at it.
I think a point, if we draw next week, we have to respect it, I think.
I'll take 1-1. Yeah. I say that's my prediction anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Harry Kane penalty now. I'm going to stick it.
Yeah, probably.
Guys, this is what I put up with
all
day, every day. All day, every day. Don't worry. Every time this happens, I take I get this sent over so IP addresses can be tracked. I'm not stupid. Okay. It's just little virgins like this. Let's welcome Percy to the stream.
Women. Hey, you're right.
I just wanted to check you weren't Savva Talks women, Percy.
They're women. There we go. They give birth. They are amazing.
I think the only thing I would say before we give these people too much time is people have got to understand I have a fiance and a family, right? And her family watch my shows and my family watch my shows and my work see it. This type of stuff is really, really bad. Like it's really bad. So anyway, moving on. Percy, welcome to the show. Talk to me. Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea. I'm seeing people saying that we should batter them. We're going to batter Chelsea. Are we going a bit over the top, Percy?
Savva, we're I'm old enough and wise enough to know that battering Chelsea just doesn't happen at Stamford Bridge. Like I think I've seen us win us there once. So let's be frank and honest on that side of things. But what people are saying is quite right. It isn't a bad time to start playing Chelsea. We look quite much more united as a team compared to probably they do. They're probably still sort of gelling in their sort of system and stuff, and it hasn't been a great start, and they weren't amazing against Everton, but kind of means nothing in the grand scheme. Right, yeah, it doesn't mean much in the grand scheme, but can we go and beat there? Why not? But yeah, the sort of battering context, I don't know where people are getting that from.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would absolutely love to go there and batter them.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah,
I think we all would, and I think that when I'm cautious with it, I don't want people to mistake that I want us to lose, which is what I hear a lot. I just feel like there's been so many false dawns perched, hasn't there? With
of course.
Last year, it was so funny. In the space of 6 games, this fan base was absolutely explained in the space of 6 games. It was after 3 wins under Nuno. This manager's the real deal. Look at the team shape. We don't concede goals. Manager of the month. 3 games later, we've been back by Arsenal, Palace, and someone else. And it's this guy's crap. He's got to go. He can't score goals. And that was Spurs for me in a nutshell. But
I think. Sorry, just to sort of go on to that. I think the 3 wins was it kind of papered over the cracks because actually, I think realistically we were all going to it and we went. The football's a bit shit here. Like it's not very good. But we kind of went. You know what? But we're winning games. We can't argue. If we won 38 games playing shit, I'm not going to complain. But then we started going around, walking all around London and getting absolutely battered all around London. Like went to Selhurst Park, got battered. Went to the Emirates and got absolutely battered there. It's like, yeah, it wasn't great. But yeah, as I said, I think there's slight difference this season. I can see there's a much better style of play, and not necessarily the style of play, but you can tell that Conte's pre-season has definitely worked. And people were sort of getting very over the top with pre-season. I don't really care about pre-season. Like, couldn't care less. It's just a glorified training game, in my opinion. I've always said that. But you could tell.
Pre-season doesn't matter.
That's what I said. But you could tell that pre-season, in the sense of our system, benefited us against Southampton. We looked much fitter than they were, and you could tell that from a mile away. So I don't know. Chelsea's a weird one. I will never sit there and go, we're going to batter Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, because we never do. As I said, we've only beaten and battered them once in my lifetime. So
okay, let me come over. I'm going to come to you, Lee, and then I'm going to come to you, Alex, Mr. Box Office in the house. Lee, talk to me. Look, it's one of those games, isn't it? So early in the season that could set the tone for the rest of the season. Yeah. If I flip and look at that side of it. Lose that game to Chelsea, and again, it's typical Spurs. You know, we don't win at Chelsea, you know, yada, yada, yada. Beat Chelsea, then you're looking at beating Wolves for another 9 out of 9 points to begin the season with. Yeah. And then fans really will lose their minds and start putting bets on us winning the league title and things like that.
Yeah.
Where are you with it all, mate?
First and foremost, I'm going to say Spurs, with any other team, we're more than capable of beating teams on our day, right? If we go in with the right mindset. Okay, we've proved it. We've played against the big guys, you know, Liverpool, City, Chelsea. It's got that stigma, isn't it? Every single time we go with them, we seem to be that deer in the headlights, lock up, freeze up, and we don't know how to play football all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think, yes, we are capable of getting a result. Are we going to go out and batter them? No. You know, I'm not going to. You know, it's Chelsea. We should learn our lesson. Nobody should be writing them off. It doesn't matter what situation they're in. They're always capable of pulling out a result. You know, and that's how I feel about it. Can we get something out of the game? Of course we can, but we've got to be on it, and we've got to have the right mindset. And we haven't been in past fixtures.
Okay,
he's nailed it right.
Okay. Mr. Box Office. Hello, mate. How are you?
He's on mute.
Alex, you on mute?
Hello?
Alex.
Still on mute.
From
Still on
you.
mute.
Easy.
Alex, okay. That was box office. That truly was box office.
Savva done that on purpose because we know what to
three
expect
matches
from
we
him.
lost before Nuno, or just after Nuno got sacked. It was 3-0 versus Palace. We lost 3-0
United
to
as well.
Arsenal. And then
Nuno
Nuno was
won
there
it.
for 10
Chelsea,
games.
was it Chelsea as well? No.
10
Chelsea, yeah.
games. We won 5 and lost 5 under Nuno.
Yeah, we lost to
Was
Palace,
it?
Chelsea, and Arsenal. It was a
The
3-0,
mid-table,
3-0
yeah.
and a 3-1 to Arsenal. We lost last season.
Oh yeah, we lost 3-1.
He didn't find solutions. He didn't make it.
Oh god, that was one of the worst derbies I've ever watched.
But losing all your London derby matches as well.
I
Those 3 matches
I-
is just
Yeah, but
embarrassing.
that North London derby that I didn't care about. I was actually kind of hoping us would get absolutely spanked in it, so we got sacked. I was going
Yeah,
to
same.
games. I was going to games at points now, going just if we kept losing, he will be out of the door. And then when we went, and the Man United game was the final straw.
That was the
quicker-
pivotal one, wasn't it?
the
It
I was
quicker
at
was
that
we-
game actually.
The quicker we got battered week in, week out, he'd have gone because it just did. You knew it weren't going to work. The longer the season went on, it just made the season as boring as it was going to be. Like, at least we got Conte in at the right time because it gave us a bit of hope until the end.
The thing is, who expected us to bring in Conte in November? It came out of nowhere.
I think-
didn't.
I
thought
think
we'd end up with
Levy had no
someone
other
like
choice
Potter.
for me, so
Yeah.
he had
No,
to bring
true.
him in.
I've got to agree with Haz. I did expect it because
I did as well.
it was one of those where he realised that he'd made a catastrophic error.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And he had to
True,
get the fans back on sides. And I remember it really clearly because Conte joined on my birthday.
Oh,
And the
What a
Saturday,
good birthday present.
yeah, Levy loves me that much. He gets me Italian managers for my birthday. I remember the Saturday night being out with all the boys, started early, we're in the pub, and one of my mates said to me, fancy you to do United today. And I said to him, honestly, this is some of the worst football I think I've ever seen us play.
Although you remember United had just lost 5-0 to Liverpool going into that game.
that's what made
if
it
you
worse.
remember.
That we lost 3-0
Yeah.
at home to United.
Exactly. It was
Always at the wheel.
It was
How do you
that
think about
United were awful, but still battered up. Do you know what I mean? It was just terrible. But look, let me move the conversation on then, guys. Like, you know, we talked Chelsea to death. What success this season in terms
Oh,
of
no.
Champions League
Okay.
is it? Obviously, look, this is all hindsight because we don't know the groups. But would it be seen as failure not getting out of the Champions League group?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it would be. And what would be seen as success in the Champions League? How far do you think we should go for it to be seen as success?
For me, it's quarterfinals.
At least the quarters, at least,
Yeah.
for me.
Success. What is success? It's
Winning.
winning it.
Winning it.
Winning
but
it
we're
is
talking
success.
in context.
No.
Well, we
but
go back to when we
yeah,
lost to Liverpool with a dodgy
But-
handball decision.
but-
That wasn't a handball.
But winning it is. But I've always stood. I'm very old fashioned, a bit like Savva says. So for me, winning it is winning a trophy is success.
That's the aim of sport,
Yeah.
isn't it?
That is the point of
Success
it.
brings
So
in
for
money.
me-
Money brings in better players.
But park the money side of it for a specific reason. In general, winning the Champions League is success. Finishing the semi-finals isn't successful. You've not. But if we're talking about on the whole side of things, yeah, we should be getting to a semi-final.
I wouldn't call
Realistically.
it success. I would call it I'd say if we get there, we gave it a good go, but I wouldn't call it success.
No, it's improvement.
Yeah.
It's improvement. It's not success.
No,
It's
Don't
like-
get me wrong.
that's
I don't
what-
think
yeah.
we're going to win the quadruple because there's no way we're going to win it all the trophies.
Of course.
So, like, that's what I'm saying. For example, for me, I think something like the League Cup and the FA Cup, we need to be winning something like that this year.
Yeah, of course.
Mate, we've
I'd
got
be
to
happy
end the
with a
trophy
domestic
drought.
cup
We've
and
got to
finishing
end the
third.
trophy drought. That's the thing.
We have to
for
win
me.
something. It's just
Yeah, of
there's no
course.
question.
So let me sit on the fence then. Everyone knows my actual opinion, so I'll play host and sit on the fence. Surely, getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, having got knocked out of the Conference League groups last year, would be seen as
Improvement.
It would,
great
yeah.
success.
Improve-
No?
Improvement.
Improvement.
It'd be
It's
seen as
improvement.
great improvement. Yeah.
It's
Well,
it's
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 the
a
level
step-
of the competition as well, isn't it? Compared
but
to
it's
Conference League.
it's a stepping stone theory. So it's a
Like that.
stepping stone. It's a stepping stone into like actually building on it. For example, that's what I look at it as.
I can buy that. I can buy it's a stepping stone and it's progress. But if anyone thinks in our fan base we are going to go any further than what they're deluded. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We are not going to go far in the Champions League unless we get a ridiculous run from the group stages. I reckon we'll get out of. Right, I ain't got an issue with that. I think we will get out of the group stages.
What pot are we in for the Champions
Pot
League?
two.
But we are
Not
not
bad.
in any chance on this earth at the moment as we stand at this foundation level at what we've built at the moment or what we're building towards. Are we going to start challenging for champion? We're not doing it.
Do we have a better team than 2019 right now? But worse, better or worse? Genuinely, I don't know the answer.
We got to the final with Sissoko and Winks in midfield.
That's what I'm saying.
Sissoko's quality.
And we were lucky to get where we got to.
No, I agree. I agree.
To be honest, it was a fluke that we got to.
I mean, we rode our luck. We rode our luck throughout that. Like, you think about it, the late goal in the new camp. Yeah, do you know what I mean? The fact that PSV, who were already bottom of the group, kind of didn't even need to get a result against Inter Milan. So yeah. I mean, we definitely rode our luck to get to that final.
We were very good against Dortmund, though. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
That was a one tie, wasn't it? That
Let me bring in Alex here. Alex, you're back. Is your voice back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Alex, how are you, mate? You well?
Wow. How have you done that? That's nearly incredible.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to throw another spin on it.
Go for it.
Okay.
Is Antonio Conte going to be as bothered about the Champions League as we have been in previous Champions League campaigns?
I'm saying no.
If we're going for history
are you going
with
by
Antonio
his
Conte, no.
record in Europe? Is that what you're going off?
Sorry.
I'm just asking questions. Okay. You guys make what you want of the questions.
I mean, it's a no. I think Conte's going to prioritise the league and the domestic cup.
I just wanted to say, I wanted to come on. The reason why I come on, is I wanted to answer your question. Savva. This whole Emerson debate, please tell me, right, did he play well on Saturday? Listen, that's the only thing I want to hear, because at the moment I'm hearing some answers telling me this guy was decent on Saturday. I was not watching what I was watching. This guy was average as far as I'm concerned, And you're telling me he's a good right back, right wing back. You having a laugh?
One can look good against Southampton.
He played well. I
think he had a good game, but that's about it.
Bang average, by the way. Bang average. I just want to hear from Savva. At least I'm going to get some honest answers from Savva. That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to see.
Look, let me answer this in a number of ways, right? I think first and foremost, I thought we had a decent game. I thought he did some very good things. I saw some very Emerson Royal type things as well. Like, I can't remember the name of the guy who played on the left wing back for them.
Gineppo.
Was it Gineppo?
Yeah.
A few times skipped past him like he wasn't there and put him on his arse. But he got 2 assists. It was one of his better games. But Alex, you know my thoughts on this guy. Look, I think here's what I would say. And this is what we said. You know, we saw each other in the pub afterwards, Alex. We had this chat. When a player divides opinion as much as Royal. Bye, Alex. Was that not the answer you want? Oh, your Alex is there. Who's gone?
Who?
Has is gone.
Has is clearly a big fan. When a player like Royal, like Sessegnon, like Sissoko did, like Winks does, like Ndombele does, like Lo Celso, like Moro, like Bergwijn, like Sanchez, like Rodon. When you have players of that ilk that divide opinion as much as those players do, ask yourself this one question. Why do they divide opinion if they're as good as some people think they are?
He's not that great.
Right. But none of them, right? That's my point. My point is, players like that, what we tend to do is when they have a decent game, now not a great game, when they have a decent game, which means they haven't actually done anything terrible, our fans will go, "Oh my God, they were amazing." They're doing it with Sessegnon.
Savva, is this mostly the online fan base you're referring to? I'm just a question.
Mate, listen, I don't know. I can only go by the people I interact with on YouTube all day and stuff like that. But for example, Sessegnon, if we use this guy as a barometer from Saturday, he had a good game. And please notice the emphasis I'm putting on the word good, like good. Right? Not good. It was good.
It was good.
But our fans are. He had a great game. Now he didn't. He just didn't do anything wrong, and he scored a header. But what makes a top player is you do it 10, 15, 20, 30 games in a row. You don't have an okay game every 4 or 5.
Savva, all I need to say is Perisic comes on in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then shows what a wing-back needs to do, what Emerson couldn't do in the whole season.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Perisic just
I don't need to say anymore, really. You know what I mean? It just makes me wonder where we're going with this. And then people tell me this is the Tottenham fan base, which are the gift that keeps on giving, by the way. Yeah, we're going to win the league all of a sudden because we've beaten Southampton, who were bang average.
Alex,
honestly, the most bang average team I've ever seen in my life, man. I mean, I'll be worried about them getting relegated next season. That's how bad it was. You know what I mean?
Whoever said we're winning the league,
I'm sticking by my opinion right now, yeah? I'm sticking by my opinion right now, right? If Emerson is playing against Chelsea, right? Emerson's playing against Chelsea, you watch, their wing-backs are going to be targeting him like it's no tomorrow. I'll tell you right now. Yeah, I've got nothing against Emerson, but my eyes was not deceiving me, yeah? He did not have a good game. The only reason why he had a good game is because Kula was really good. That was the only reason. Because Kuda's making it easy for him. Those 2 assists, he fluffed the first one. Yeah, and the second one is the most simplest one because Kuda got into one position. All you need to do is just do it one little simple pass. I could do that. It's like the
Alex,
same people that say that Dyer's a good player as well. We need to give Dyer credit. We need to give Dyer credit, by the way, because Dyer's doing really well at the moment. Yeah, well, you should be doing really well at the moment, mate. You're not even doing that much, really. It's just because Romero's making you look good, like he's done all season, mate. You know what I mean? Just because he can talk about things and stuff like that, man. I'm sorry, no.
I think, look, it's the test for me is over time with all these players. The test for me is not. It's not turning up every now and then. And I think the problem that we have is there's certain players like the Dyers, like the Davises, that have been here for 7, 8 years. And all of a sudden, the players that everyone wanted to leave, it's now, oh my God, they're brilliant. Conte's made them world beaters. No, they're in a system which means they function okay and do a job. But who ever won the league by doing a job?
Well, that's why we say about Højbjerg. That's the definition of Højbjerg. You just said it.
Listen, I agree with you. Højbjerg, for me, good squad player. Shouldn't be in our first 11, in my opinion. Good squad player, but you know, I'll bring it back. Let me chuck this question out to you. Let me start with you, Lee, on this.
Yeah.
The sentimental side of us as a fan base is something that could be admired, or if you're like me, I've just got no time for it.
No, I don't.
Where do you stand with this when fans seem to really, really rate players that have been more disappointing than they have good in a Spurs shirt?
It's the fickleness, isn't it, of the fan base, and it's not all Spurs fans, and it is mostly online. It is mostly Twitter, because if you go and talk to the real fans at the stadium, I don't go. I'm not saying I go every time, but you talk to real fans who invest in it, they'll tell you different things, you know. And Spurs as a club has always been a sentimental club, right? That's the club's fault, you know, for pushing it out there. That's what they do. And fans, especially the younger fans, latch onto it and start making comps of the twats. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, you know, and pushing it out. It's ridiculous. Let's call it for what it is.
All these kids that play on Football Manager then. Right?
Yeah, we got players in that squad who are not good enough to take us forward. It's as simple as that. You know, Emerson Royal being one of them, Cess being another. You know, and there's a few squad players in there that need to be demoted to squad, and we need better players in. If anyone thinks we're going to be challenging with what we got at the moment, yeah, deluded. I'm sorry.
Charlie, what's your opinion on it? I mean, from my point of view, Charlie, we had this with about 8 years for Lamella. We did this for 3 years with Bergwijn. I'm still seeing fans to this day saying, don't let Ndombele and Lo Celso go. They're the creative spark we need.
They need to go.
Oh, dear.
Have
people really said that?
Listen, there is a lot of
true fans, then,
in that camp. So what is it that needs to happen for us to stop hyping up very average players and thinking that Conte turns everything from water to wine?
It's a tough one because like kind of Lee alluded to, I think it's mostly the online fans. Like you'll get these kind of accounts with like a player in their profile picture and stuff that will make these compilations after kind of one kind of good moment and stuff. But no, you're right. I think we need a lot more kind of quality all over the pitch to properly compete, I think. And I think just you're right, there's I'd say it's 90% the online fan base, because as someone myself that goes, I can tell you that it's fans at the game are completely different to online fans.
It's like, sorry, quickly, right? What club? Look, Liverpool City, are they sentimental? I'm not being funny. If a player's not good enough, they're gone. If a player's not good enough, they'll be demoted. You know what I mean? They'll be put on the bench, or they'll piss them off. You know, what do we do? Years and years and years of the same stuff. You know,
that's been the onus.
Right.
They've kind of hung on to players too long because they haven't been willing to spend the money to get a proper upgrade. That's been the case for a while now. Obviously with Conte here, we're hoping that he's going to kind of force their hand a bit. I think we've had a decent window, but you're right. I think we just need more out and out proper ability all over the pitch. And
we need that ruthlessness, and we need to start being that team. That's exactly what we need.
We need. What I would say is, in January, I thought they were quite ruthless from what they used to. Like, for example, do you think we'd ever get rid of Dele Alli for free? Previously, that's what I would say. No. Like that would never have happened. So I think since Conte's come in, I think the situation has improved, but I still think there's a long way. It needs to be window after window for me anyway, to just kind of properly trust it, if you know what I mean. It needs to be on a consistent basis, not just the odd window here and there.
Okay, Perchy, I'm going to come to you. Just before I do, let me read out a couple of chats. First of all, thank you, Rooksy Pop, for the donation. 50% of that does go to charity. And yes, Royal and Ndombula will come good. Of course they will. Flash Errol has said it's the Twitter fans that are toxic. Oh, don't talk to me about Twitter. Phil Pierce said the backing of players and the club stems from the hope in our club and having to defend ourselves and the club against other fans. Daniel Turner has said, let's be honest, Poch bench players are now starters. That for me is still something. We're going to come to this in a minute, guys. We're going to talk about that very subject in a minute. We're going to go for another 15 minutes, by the way. Vented has said, Savva, do you think you could ever be 100% satisfied with the Spurs team? With great ambition, there is always room for improvement. I think there's always room for improvement, but I'll be honest, if the squad looked like Man City's, I'm not sure we'd be having the same types of YouTube conversations. Let me come to you, Perchy. This is a great point. There are players playing now in our first 11 and still coming off our bench that were bench players 4 or 5 years ago under Pochettino that have now kind of progressed to first teamers. What does that say about how we've recruited over the last 5 years? You're on mute.
I'm muted. Sorry about that.
Go on, mate.
Yeah. So when we're talking about last 5 years, the scouting and transfer business has been horrendous. I mean, there's been no system. I think we can all sit there and agree on that. I think we're not. I think when it comes to the sort of the comment that you put up there about Poch bench players are now first teamers, I think there's got to be a bit of context when we put into it. I think actually what we've done is the players that it seemingly Conte wants to get rid of, the ones he didn't take on the tour, are ones he wants to offload, and you can tell that. You could straight away know that from the starting lineup against Southampton. So I think when we say the people like the Eric Dyers and the Ben Davies, actually I think that fundamentally they will be squad players for the team. I think once we're not going to be able to go and buy 4 centre backs in the window. It's just realistically, unfortunately, we're just not going to do that. Like we might go buy.
Could we not buy just one, Perchy?
Well, we've got one in, haven't we? We got one in, didn't we?
Buy. Could we not buy one?
But we got one with an option to buy, which is just a way to push money into the next financial year. I don't want to go into into that sort of finance stuff, but like it's similar to the whole Kulusevski thing. The only reason we haven't purchased Kulusevski yet is just because we're moving money into another year. It's a bit boring in the sort of context of that. I don't want to get into that side of things, but like the thing is Longley's it's in a sense the sort of loan to buy setup. Short term for us right now isn't actually the end of the world because it actually puts us less risk. Because if he turns out to be absolutely rubbish, we ship him back off to Barcelona and we don't use him again. So weirdly, same with Romero, similar system, the whole Romero thing. Romero's still not been announced as permanent, even though we know he is. But
is that acting like a big club?
No.
Well, the problem is unfortunately, I think it depends. In the sense of it, no, you could argue. But you could argue it's about being frugal in the sense and getting the right players in. Because my point is it means if us getting in certain loan players in to pay into the next year means that we can go and buy the player that we're linked with. That is it Zaniolo or whatever it is, I don't really know. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's him. If it meant that we actually end up buying him because of that, then it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I think Conte knows, I think, who he wants now. I think he knows who he doesn't want, which is more important. And it looks like Lo Celso's going this week, which I can't believe is happening. It's a great day for me. I mean, I put up a list on Twitter earlier about the goals, the teams that he scored against. It's absolutely horrendous. Like, I was actually embarrassed reading that list.
Maccabi Haifa.
He scored 2 against Maccabi Haifa, Ludogorets, 1 against Man City when he came on that sub and beat them, 1 against Middlesbrough in a cup. But yeah, relevant. And Ndombele, another one. Like, again, his Stan club need to fuck off with him. Sorry for the language, but
they just need to tear his contract up.
Oh,
we're not going to get any money for him.
Oh, I said that 6 months ago that we should have just ripped his contract up a long time ago. But yeah, I think when we talk about old players from other clubs that are other teams under different managers that are now playing now, I think we have to use it a bit contextually. A lot of them are getting shipped out. However, the Davises, the Dyers is probably the two that are sort of being talked about. I think under this Conte system is actually beneficial for them as players and us as a team. One, because the way that the system is set up, it benefits their strong points and negates their bad points. That's the one thing. Eric Dyer and Ben Davies in a back three is better than them two in a back two, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Totally.
Oh, I agree with that.
It's still for me, I still look at it and they're still there. Like, we've started the season again with those 2 centre-backs in our team. So I'm just going to let Soren in. Just before I come to you, Soren, hello, my friend. I always want to get drunk when I see your picture. Alex, I'm going to come to you quickly off the back of what we've been talking about with Perchy. Just quickly, a few of the comments. Conte's a short-term manager. By the way, guys, I'm going for 10 more minutes until 1:45. Luan has said he's there to win now. Has said acting like a big club would have been signing Upamecano, Vardial and Hakimi. Stuart Austin has said we still need a top right wing back and a starting centre back. This is an interesting one. Grant Davidson has said 2 big positions, though, we all wanted before the window was centre back and right wing back. Yeah. We have spent nothing on those really. 1 loan to buy, 1 was 12 million or whatever Spence was. Faz has come more from the accounting side of things. So Daniel Levy will follow you, Faz, on Instagram or Twitter, whatever you're on. So what is wrong with paying the transfer fee next season when we have the option? This is called effective cash flow management in finance.
Yeah.
Stuart wants to know how we haven't got Hakimi yet.
Because he doesn't want to leave.
Because he plays for PSG and gets
He's
paid
not
a stupid amount of money that we're no way going to ever offer a player.
It's the same with
it's an easy trophy for him each year as well.
It's the same with Vardial. He isn't leaving this year.
Yeah.
He said, I think his agent was on a podcast. He's not going this year.
I think it's spot on with what you just said there, just to sort of jump in, I didn't mean to, but I think what people miss out on in the sense of, we should sign this player or this player or this player. But if the player doesn't want to join us, what are we meant to do? Bastoni's the perfect example. We had all the agreements sorted with Inter Milan, but the player said, no, I'm happy to stay. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yes and no. Yes and no. If Bastoni doesn't want to join, Bastoni is not the only centre-back in world football.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, I agree with that.
I agree as well I agree with the context of that as well. But my point is you look at Vardiol and all that from the sort of why I heard from certain people I just spoke to about it and said actually that there is a release clause in his contract next season. So if we sign him this window, RB Leipzig will be asking for money that is just like unrealistic to buy for a centre half right now. So
just quickly, guys. I want to get to Alex, then I want to get to Soren. I want to be fair to everyone. Just quickly on that last point, my worry with this whole we'll wait to get these players for next season is if we don't finish top 4, we've then got zero pool to bring in those types of players as we do.
It's a risk.
Now.
That's the thing. It's a risk.
Alex, let me ask you. So in the last 5 minutes, we've talked about Poch's bench and our first team starters, going cheap on centre backs and right wing backs. Poch turning Poch. There's a Freudian slip. Sorry, I do like him really. Conte turning water into wine. What do you make of it all, Alex? Have we really got to the stage where we can say at the end of this window we did everything possibly we could to back Antonio Conte?
I think he's got 6 players in. That's the glitch of it is. I mean, he has got the play. You know, he's got the best transfer window I've been told for years at Tottenham. So, I mean, on the Davis thing, I backed Davis for quite a while, and you know, I wasn't impressed with him on Saturday. I've got to be honest. I think he could have used more of initiative, and it didn't help Sessignon on Saturday as well. But I think he's still a useful player. Dyer, I still think needs to do more in my eyes. I think that's the thing. But I see the problem. Langley's not going to be here next season. He's not going to be here. We ain't going to. There's no sell-on clause. So he wants his specific centre backs, and that's it. That's what he wants. And you know what? Conte
Is that a dangerous game, Alex? Is it a dangerous game? It is
a dangerous game, but at the end of the day, Conte will just say, "Look at my trophies," and that's it. So really, it's either you go with what he does, or you know he'll be out the door, you know, and kick like a fuss next season, isn't it? And then he'll be out the door. So
then your argument on that, Alex, it could have been with Jose Mourinho. Look at my trophies.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. That's the way he's done it. I mean, like I said, he's done an absolute miracle with that squad because we were lucky to get top 4, like I said before, last season. And we only finished above Arsenal, who are bang average, or not our rivals, by the way, because I've got Arteta as their manager. And you know, and for me, you know, whether he's not been backed, he's got 6 players through the door. I think for me, you know, it's really time for him to, you know, put up and show what we can do now. As far as I'm concerned, yes, it's still an underwhelming window. I don't really rate Langley at the moment, but he's got some skill. Spence needs a little bit of time. Basuma's a great signing, even though I need to see him want more ambition, wanting to win the Premier League, not just want to be in the Champions League as a day out. You know, Foster, okay, and Perisic, he's grown on me, yes, and Richarlison.
Sorry, Alex, Perisic is growing on you.
Yeah, he's growing.
This is Ivan Perisic, who's been there, seen it, done it, won it, right?
Yeah, no, he's growing on me because, like, I'm saying, yeah, he's got something about him which
Alex,
got that intensity.
When we bought him in, were you happy with him? Or?
Well, I was saying yes, okay, great.
One day, hopefully, Kane will be a great player as well, Alex.
Pardon?
I said, hopefully, one day Kane will be a great player, maybe, yeah?
What do
you mean Kane's going to be a great player? What do you mean by
Perisic?
Like I said before, like, yeah, he's growing on me. He is growing on me.
He's always been a top player, Perisic.
Yeah, he's been a top player. There's no doubt about it. But like I said, like, we need to see how he copes with the Premier League, and it shows that there's some things there. He's got intensity. He's got everything else. You know, he can play on the wing. Like I saw, you know, like I said, he outshone Emerson tenfolds yesterday on Saturday, and he only played like how many minutes?
Alex, you've got to get off this bandwagon with Emerson. He's not a great player, I'll admit, He's not the best.
No, I'm not banging on about
no good game on Saturday.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Bob, he did not have a good game on Saturday.
He did have a good game.
I'm not going to argue about it. I'm not going to argue about it.
The first 20 minutes.
I'm not going to argue about it.
The first 20 minutes, the whole
I'm not
team
arguing
was
about
good.
it.
Well, I know you're not.
About it.
You
I'm
do
not
this
going to
every
argue about
time.
it. Sorry, I'm not going to argue about it.
A couple of people on these chats are so blinkered about certain players that when they do have a half-decent game, you will not own up to the fact. Emerson was not
crap, bro.
He was not crap.
He's definitely better than what I've seen before.
Look,
he was crap.
You
I'm
know,
sorry for my language, but honestly, that we're defending. That just sums up.
Doesn't matter how whether they have a good game or not, you will not admit to the fact that they had a good game. Emerson was not crap on Saturday. It was probably one of his better games for the team.
Can I park this for 1 second? Just for 1 second. Sorry. I literally went to get my front door, came back, and this had erupted. Feel like a teacher that had gone away, come back, and the class all fighting each other. Just quickly, C Cubed has said it will put into an excellent window if we get a Rolls-Royce centre-back and another top-quality attacking midfielder or right wing-back. Stuart has said Perisic has got something about him. Oh, yeah, he's just class. Hitesh, I will have none of that talk about Stelios on my show. Stelios is a great guy who has been there, seen it, done it as a fan, and is entitled to his opinion. Haz is asking if you don't rate Perisic. Faz has said Perisic. Phil Pierce said big up Perchy. Somebody's put love this. Jack has said he loves this debate. Let me put it this way to you both. For me, I feel like it's somewhere in the middle. I feel like Emerson had one of his better games. I don't think he was great. I don't think anyone was great other than Kulusevski. I think a lot of people are really overhyping how bad Southampton were. But I thought he did well. He did what he needed to do. But I don't know if any of you agree with me, and don't shout at me all at once. I just kind of always feel that Royals, even when taking a man on or he's going up across, it feels like he doesn't know what he's going to do. That he's not got the ball under control.
There it is.
At last second. To be fair, that has been the case a lot.
He wasn't brought in as an attacking wing back. He was brought in as a defensive right wing back.
I'm going to put a bit of conjecture into this whole thing here. I've kept quiet and I've listened to people and stuff. What I want to say is watching him against Southampton, you can tell that he has listened to a lot of what Antonio Conte's been saying about how he wants to play. Because I saw him play; he's played a lot better than he did last season, and that's one point. And you can tell that whatever the system is going to be with him and how he's going to play was definitely implemented. I don't think he's the solution. He could be the short-term solution if it continues. We don't know. We don't know if this was a flash in the pan and it was one game. If he does it against Chelsea on Saturday or Sunday, we're playing, aren't we? I can't remember now.
Sunday.
Whatever, they're playing Sunday. If he does it against them on Sunday, I think we need the sort of agendas against players, because I know there's a lot of agendas that get brought up about players, and people don't look at it they don't look at it with conviction. They look at it and go, oh well, I don't like this player, so even if he's had a good game, we can't justify. I don't think he's an amazing football player, and I think long term he isn't the long term solution. But if the manager selects him, though,
doesn't this work both ways, Perchy? I mean, one of the things I've always argued against for years on YouTube channels and in Twitter or whatever is if someone doesn't rate a footballer, it's called an agenda. Right? For me, I don't think it's an agenda. I just don't think Sessegnon and Royal are good enough for Tottenham Hotspur.
I'm not. Let me pose another question then. How many right backs have we been linked to this window other than Spence, which is one for the future by the look of it?
None.
Oh, I agree.
What's the reason then?
The manager wants to keep the player in.
No. And also, I need to say this as well.
No, Savva, you're saying money. We might not have been linked to the top one. We haven't been linked to any right wing backs, basically. So there's a reason. It's not money, because if it was money, we wouldn't be signing anybody.
It's because we haven't got
we haven't been linked to anybody.
I can tell you why.
Go on then, Alex.
We got too many foreign players. That's the reason.
It's
And
not
that's
the
why.
reason.
And that's why one of the wing
There's
backs
a lot
are
that are
going.
gonna go.
One of the wing backs are going this season in the January transfer window because we can't
we'll-
keep all of them. Because if
Well,
you're gonna keep Mora and use him as a orthodox
needs to go.
wing back, we call him, orthodox wing back because he's absolutely useless and he's still useless anyway as a wing back anyway, right? And you still got Doherty, right? And you got Spence because he's homegrown. That's the reason why we bought him, by the way, right? I'll give him a try because at the end of the day, I'm all for him, but still he's homegrown. That's the reason why we bought him. You know, we've got too many foreign players in the squad. You need to get rid of one of them. You need to get rid of one of them because one of them's not going to get into that Champions League squad. Simple
So why
as
are we
that.
looking to buy 2 more foreign players then?
Yeah.
Well, you don't ask me why. I don't know.
No, but
I've
you're
got no
saying
idea.
that we've got too
But
many.
this is the reason
yet
I'm
we're
saying.
still looking to buy more. So it's got nothing to do with buying a homegrown right wing back.
No,
It's
it is,
the fact
bro,
that-
because we've got too many foreign players
Yes,
already. I
we
could
maybe
count
have,
on my
but
bloody
that's not the
fingers,
reason.
bro.
That's not the reason we haven't bought a wing back. The reason we've probably not bought a wing back is maybe
Because they're all
someone
foreign.
spoke to
Because they're
Conte
foreign.
and said, "Are you happy with what you've got?" We don't know that.
Okay, let me sit on the fence here with this. Right, let's assume I don't support Tottenham. Apparently, West Ham now. I'll be someone else.
Savva talks West Ham.
I thought Savva Talks Women was the other one you just came up.
Savva
just
talks
say
women.
one
Savva
quick
talks
thing, Savva?
LGBTQ. Savva talks Arsenal. Savva talks West Ham.
Can I just
Next
say
week
one
it'll
quick
be-
thing, Savva, before you do? I want to
Yeah.
know how Lee's got into our trophy room.
I know, right?
That's a good. That's a
Mate, there should be a
good.
cup up there from like 2 weekends
Look,
ago.
it's so cheap. Look, we're so bad. It's so cheap. Look at the
Ridiculous.
shelves we're using. They're just the shite shelves as well.
Yeah.
Let alone no
from
trophies.
Aldi. From Aldi.
Let me put this another way to you, Soren. Just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, go
Do
on.
you believe that in any way, that Conte has turned around and said, "You know what? Don't get me a proper right wing back. I'm really happy with Royal and Doherty. Really, when he's had players like Hakimi. I'm not saying we get Hakimi. I'm just saying I just fail to believe it. The same reason we haven't bought a centre back. I fail to believe
No,
it.
but the thing is, with the centre back role, we have approached for some of those. We have approached for centre backs and left centre back.
Who?
We haven't. Well, we've looked at Bastoni,
right?
So, I mean, all the rumours say that we've been trying to get a centre back or a left centre back. Not one single rumour, other than Jed Spence, which, if we're led to believe, is a Levy signing or whatever. Not one single right wing back has been linked to our club. Now, I'm not saying Conte's turned around and said, "Oh, these players are great," but there's obviously a reason we haven't been linked to one. Now, it may be that Conte said, "Look, for another season, we're going to put up with these players." I don't know that. I'm not Conte. I'm not in that role. But there's obviously a reason we've been linked with player after player after player after player, but not one right wing back. So I'll play devil's advocate. You tell me why we haven't been linked to one.
Listen, I get it. I think we're just awful in the market, full stop. I think there's so much we need to do. We could make this argument for centre back. We could make this argument for right wing back. We could make this argument for another creative midfield. At the end of the day, none of us know, but I fail to believe that Conte would not want a better right wing back than Emerson Royal.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, then why does he keep playing him?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say.
No, the
That's
reason why
true,
he
but
keeps on
are any
playing
of them that good?
No,
Are
the
any
reason
of
why
them
he keeps
good?
on playing him.
The bit that I do agree with Alex and everybody else basically on the panel saying is Emerson long term is not good enough to play for our squad in the role that Conte wants that position to be played. If it was a defending right back, then I would kind of almost say, yeah, he is. But for the position Conte is wanting as an attacking right wing back, he's not good enough long term. But there's obviously a reason that we're not looking at anybody else.
Listen, the only reason why I'm being harsh with him is because he's a foreign player in the day. We've got too many foreign players in the squad, so you have to be ruthless. Unfortunately, I don't really want to be like that. But the fact is, right? you know, if we're going to look at it like that, he's taken up a spot, and you know, at the end of the day, he needs to play really well to keep that spot.
I get
and
that,
that's
Alex,
it.
but if we're not going to get anybody else in,
but
then...
that's my argument at the end of the day, because we've got three now wing backs on the right at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
And for me, you only need two.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I would probably say,
go on.
has the Champions League squad been announced yet?
No, but this is the point.
It does again. Now you can't do it until the win.
Right.
It's not when the window shuts.
Say the two that are picked will not include Jed Spence.
No, because I think he has to be included because of.
I don't think.
If we get 17 or 18 players, he doesn't have to be.
Am I right in saying the draws in next week? Is it or 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
The draws.
Yeah, but from what I understand is that I think he has to be registered. He can't be registered as the under 21s. From what I understand.
No, I don't think
he's still a homegrown player.
Yeah, no, he's a homegrown player, but he's not. You have to have four players that are trained at the club from the ages of 16 to 21, basically. Yeah. So
okay, guys, I'm going to move this conversation on. We've got 6 minutes left. And then what I would ask is anybody watching the show, please jump over to Henry Wright TV, who is kicking off at 7. And I wouldn't run over and do my boy dirty like that. Just quickly, before we move on, I'm very proud to announce that of the 78 people in my fantasy Premier League league, I am top.
Like
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm 47th. I'm 47th.
I was about to say, yeah, he's the only one in the league.
I was expecting a little bit more. Yeah, that's really good. Everyone was like, yeah, all right, well, who cares? Right, guys.
We knew what was coming, mate. We knew what was coming.
47th, and Nico from Norway, who I speak to on Instagram, he is first. He is first.
I bet
guys, I'm going to ask you a question. I want an honest answer from all of you. None of you look like you would shirk an honest answer.
No.
If Tottenham do not finish 4th this year, yeah, has Antonio Conte failed? If we do not make top 4,
depends on what else comes with the season for me. I want to see some silverware.
No, top 4. End of.
Okay. Sorry, I'll come to you next. But Corey, let me ask you this then, mate. So, if we finished 5th and won an FA Cup, are you saying that's been a good season?
Yes and no. I mean, for 20 odd years we haven't seen nothing. We haven't seen nothing since Woodgate put one past Chelsea in the League Cup.
Yep.
No silverware. All these pre-season trophies, you know, might as well just be scrap metal. I want to see success, some silverware. I want to see players coming in to try and win that with us in the next 5 to 10 years, you know. We win an FA Cup, we win a League Cup, we finish 4th or 5th. As long as something is there for me as a fan of nearly 32 years. I mean, I was at that League Cup game with my granddad when Wooders put that in. I haven't seen nothing since, and I'm now getting fed up with Levy and co. They keep saying this year's going to be different. We're going to invest in this manager. We've had it for 10 years now. And now that we finally start putting our hands in our pockets for Conte, we've had an average window, I would say, apart from Perisic and maybe Spence and Basuma. The other 3 for me just don't really add anything, I feel. Forster's going to retire next season. Lloris is on his way out. Who have we got coming up to take that goalkeeping position?
No, I agree. Soren, I'm coming to you, but first, Hitesh, thank you very much for the super chat. Another good show. Good. That's what I call Emerson Royal. It's a great show.
Got
great.
Chicken Royale.
Come on, man. Don't compare my show with Emerson Royal. Soren, I mean, this is very true, right? Where are we? This comment here. We got top 4 with the same squad, and now we've made 6 signings. If he doesn't make top 4, that's underperforming and failure. Is that correct, Soren?
Yeah and no. Look, for the last few days and the last week or so, all I'm hearing is, we'll finish 7th and win a cup. Yeah, bollocks. We have got to get top 4. That's what the club needs. It's financial. Top 4. If we don't win a cup, Well, sorry, in fact, lads. I mean, I think he's Corey. Just been saying that he's been supporting Tottenham. I've been supporting Tottenham since 1980. I've seen plenty of shit times.
I was born in the 80s, mate. So I wouldn't know.
Exactly.
I mean...
The most exciting times of me watching Tottenham was the last few years where Poch were in charge. We were getting top 4 regular. We started to look like we could win something. Now, I'm not going to get started on the Levy out because that's a load of crap as well. We need top 4 to be able to build a good squad. When we start in top 4, it will create that winning mentality. You ask any of our players, would they prefer a League Cup or playing in the Champions League? And I bet you any money you will not find one of our players will say, oh, I'd rather win a cup than... No, I'm telling you. What they want is Champions League. They want to be on...
Of course they do. That's the promised land. But as a fan of so many years...
They all want a cup, but it's got to come with top 4.
Can I ask a question? I think this might be what Corey was about to ask. I think. Or whoever was talking. Why is this argument always either or?
Should be
both.
Why
not both?
Thank you. It's got to be both.
That's what I just said.
Oh, it's got to be both.
And if the top comes, brilliant. But we have to aim for top 4.
Agreed. No, listen, I agree with you.
It's when you get the people, they'll be like, would you win the FA Cup if it meant finishing 8th? That's what people say. Like, why?
Bollocks, it's crap.
No,
We've got
exactly.
to look at top 4.
For me, it's both.
That is the minimum and all those people that saying we scraped top 4. No, we didn't really scrape top 4. We had a pretty shit
We
start.
played our asses out to finish up top 4. We played our asses out.
And those people that say last year was a failure, you're not Tottenham fans.
No, last year was a failure. We overachieved.
And it was success to get top 4. And
it was a miracle.
We deserved it from you. Everybody should know when you support a team like Tottenham, you look at what you do in the league. Now, we were the 4th best team last year. We didn't scrape through. Well, we did in the end, but we cocked it up ourselves. It wasn't a case of everybody else gave us it. In the end, they gave us it, but we cocked up ourselves and then carried on.
Okay, guys, I really do need to shoot in 60 seconds. Lee, talk to me. If we don't get top 4, is it failure? Is Conte gone?
I don't think Conte's gone, no. It would be a failure in my eyes, yeah. But Soren's right. We do need that top 4, and we can do both, and we're capable of it. We got no excuses. We've got 6 extra players in, okay? We've strengthened the poor team we had anyway. So, on paper, we should be doing better. I don't. It's all bullshit. No, we need to maintain top 4, prove we got that stability in top 4. Yes, get a cup along the way, of course. I mean, we should be doing both, okay? Doesn't matter which cup it is, but we need to be doing it. It's as simple as that. Well, there's no excuses now. So if we finish outside the top 4, it's failure in terms of stability, even if we win a cup. So I'm sorry, that's how I feel about it.
Okay, just really quickly, Charlie.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I think why not both? I think we have to aim for both. That's the thing. I think for sure maintain top 4. It's incredible. It's very important. And on the other side of it as well, the trophy drought has to end because I'm sick of all these jokes and all these myths being created and stuff. So the trophy drought has to end for sure. I think we need glory, proper glory. Maintain top 4 and
there's a little old saying with sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Exactly. It doesn't matter if we haven't got a trophy. I mean, it does, but if all these teams, like we know the Woolwich Wanderers down the road, they got a trophy. Where are they finishing? Below us every time.
They create myths that we've never won anything in our history.
Doesn't matter. Fake. You look down the list. History will tell you we have won trophy.
Exactly.
We won one a couple of weeks ago.
Guys, I really do have to end this. I promised Henry I would not run into his time, and he's my boy, so I will not do that to him. First of all, thank you, everybody in the chat. Really appreciate all of your comments. I've had a lot of subscribers today. If you haven't subscribed and you would still like to, please smash that subscribe and like button. Thank you very much to all you lads who have come on the show and anyone else who popped in. We will be doing this every couple of days where I invite people on. I think it's important that We hear all sides of people's arguments, even if you lot are all wrong and I'm always right. But listen, it's important that I listen to you lot as well. That is a joke, of course, before anyone has a go at me. Thank you very much. I am going to end the show. I'll catch you all in a couple of days. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.